on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. What's the next step? Call 262-567-4513 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
Gabe Neitzel here. Catch Jen, Gabe, and Chewy mornings 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. It's finally game day.
6, good protection, pass wide open, making the catch and getting into Washington territory. Tucker Kraft pulls his way down to the 20-yard line.
And the countdown to kickoff starts now.
What's the fake? Pass caught, touchdown, Green Bay, Romeo Dobbs.
This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Broadcasting live from the shadow of the south end zone at Lambeau Field. Alongside Gabe Neitzel and the mayor, Steve Scaffiti, here's Alex Strofe.
Away we go, Week 6 NFL action. It's the Green Bay Packers. It's the Cincinnati Bengals right here at Lambeau Field in Green Bay. It is Green Bay Game Day on your radio, on your YouTube, on your ESPN Wisconsin app, on your 620 WTMJ app. Alex Strofe, Gabe Neitzel with you. We will hear from the mayor, the birthday boy, Steve Scaffiti, at some point. He is in Sicily right now.
Yep.
So he is not here in Green Bay.
European vacation for our guy.
So we will hear from him. There's also been a debate about when his birthday actually is.
I don't know if that's really something that's debatable.
Now, here's the thing. The email that our work sent out said his birthday was Friday.
Okay.
So I texted him on Friday, happy birthday.
Sure.
And then the next day, Facebook told me it was his birthday on Saturday. So either he lied on his job application.
I wouldn't trust the company emails we get sent. It once said, friend Telly Hughes. I believe they once wanted everybody to wish Telly Hughes a happy birthday on, New Year's Eve. His birthday's in, September.
Okay.
So he was very confused as to why everybody was wishing him a happy birthday. So the birthday emails that come out of the office aren't always the most reliable.
So you think his birthday's Saturday?
I'm guessing if since he put that in to his Facebook page, I would
probably a fair guess.
Rely on Facebook in this specific situation.
Fair enough. All right, Gabe Neitzel, Alex Strofe with you. Let's go. Let's talk a little
Brewers baseball.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, wow, what a night that was, huh? What a night that was. As the Brewers punch their ticket to the National League Championship Series.
It's just so crazy to me that for most of August, the Brewers, understandably so, with the winning streak that they had and just building up that huge lead that they had over the Chicago Cubs in the division, the Brewers were the main talk in all of August. And the Packers were a team that, we were hoping was going to grow and have Super Bowl aspirations. And now that got kicked into hyperdrive when they traded for Micah Parsons, played the way they did in the first 2 weeks. But now with the way they played the last 2 weeks that they actually had games, coupling that with a bye, and now coupling that with the Brewers playing an incredibly intense 5-game playoff series against the hated rival Chicago Cubs, the Brewers have kind of taken everything over. And even this game today, it's the first time in a long time that I just don't feel the Packers game day buzz. You know what I'm saying? It just there's a little something missing, and hopefully the crowd is still going to be energetic, and Lambeau's going to be loud the way it was against Detroit, against Washington, because Lambeau had this different feeling. But at least for the fan base, because they didn't play well going into the bye, now had the bye, are playing a team that's so desperate that Joe Flacco was the answer to the question they apparently decided to ask this week. I just feel like there's not a lot of buzz heading into this game because of, again, exterior factors, but also the Bengals are not a very good football team right now, and the Packers are the biggest favorite in the NFL heading into this game today.
Yeah, 14.5 points is the spread.
Is that what it's
today.
up to now?
Yeah, it's 14.5. The Packers favored to win by more than 2 touchdowns over the Joe Flacco-led Cincinnati Bengals here in week number 6 of NFL action. I was just, as I did my Packers research, as I always do, Gabe. Now, granted, it was less this week than it has been in past weeks, given that the Brewers have slightly overshadowed them. The Packers have not won a football game in over a month.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bizarre statistic.
Just based on because they played the Thursday night game and then had the bye, and it's been over a month now since they've won a football game. And look, it's still a team I have all the faith in the world in. Football is such a long season, and again, at times it doesn't feel like it's that long because it's only 17 games. But again, use the Brewers as an example last night. At the point in the season in which the Brewers were where the Packers are, let's say for the Brewers it's a month into the season, too. Who would have thought that Chad Patrick would be brought in high-leverage situations with runners on base and Jacob Mizorowski's dealing 4 innings out of the bullpen? Teams change so much, and this is an incredibly talented team that needs to get it together. And I think some of it is the team reading their own press clippings after 2 games. You have guys like, Rasheed Walker talking about going undefeated.
Yeah,
and
only been downhill since then, by the way.
And other players kind of talked about, hey, I think we kind of smelled our own you-know-what, and thought that, hey, we're great. What do we – and I think the last 2 games are a little bit of a wake-up call for them. And now you have the bye. And for the coaching staff as well, there's a really good article from Tom Silverstein in the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel this week kind of breaking down some of the different things that the coaching staff has to do better. And maybe that includes Jeff Hafley, who after the first 2 games, after the first 3 games, because the defense played spectacular against the Browns, after the first 3 games, this was a defense that everybody thought was going to be spectacular, and Jeff Hafley's going to be the next great head coach in the NFL. He's going to be the darling next offseason. And then the game against the Cowboys happened. So there were things that I think Hafley could have done better to get his team in better positions to not allow 40 points and give up 5 touchdowns out of 6 drives the way that they did in that game. So I think that the bye, as much as I did not like it being early in the season, I think the bye could end up being advantageous for the Packers coming when it did, just because of the way the season started and then they played in the next 2 games. I think it should have been a good week for self-reflection, and I'm expecting them to come out at Lambeau Field and look more like the team that we saw in weeks 1 and 2 versus the teams we saw in weeks 3 and 4.
Well, the other part of that is the teams we saw in week 1 and 2 played here at Lambeau Field.
Yeah.
And to return to your home field after a week off and hopefully a little bit healthier, especially in the offensive line group, you're able to bounce back and show, hey, yeah, by the way, we are still a team that belongs. We are still a part of the conversation as one of the best teams in the National Football League, because I don't think that's the team we saw in week 3 and 4. In the loss to Cleveland and the tie in Dallas, which still feels like a loss, but it was a tie 2 weeks later. That wasn't the team we saw, to your point, early on in the season, and hopefully today against a not-so-good Cincinnati team, it's a get-right game of sorts, which I know isn't your favorite phrase in the world, but I just, when you play a bad team and you are supposed to be a cream-of-the-crop team, you've got to play like it, kind of like they did on that Monday night right before Christmas last year against the New Orleans Saints. It was a 34-0 shutout here at Lambeau Field. You need a game. I'm not saying shut them out, because I do think Joe Flacco, with the tools at his disposal today, will be able to muster up some points. But it should be a one-way street the whole game, where it's a stress-free, unlike Game 7 for the Brewers, or Game 5 for the Brewers.
But still, with Joe Flacco, he's been there for 3 days, 4 days, whatever. I mean, he got traded on Tuesday. He didn't get there till Wednesday, so he practices for 3 days. They travel yesterday, have the walkthrough here in Green Bay, and now they're playing today. I know he's a veteran, and he knows all the different things, but it's tough to pick up the lingo and the terminology that Zach Taylor is going to want to use over the course of 3 days. So it's going to be a bit of a vanilla offense, I think, for Cincinnati. And yes, they've got some of those weapons, but I mean, Jake Browning's been good at different times when he's had to be the backup, and this team has just stunk over their last 3 games.
Yeah.
48-10 loss at the Vikings, 28-3 loss at the Broncos. Oh, they finally did score some points at home, 24, but they gave up 37 to the Detroit Lions. This is a team that's been dominated the last 3 weeks, and if you want to start to write the narrative and right the ship for the Packers, that's the type of score that they need to put up. You need to cover that spread today of 14.5 and show, we are that dominant team. The last 2 games we've played aren't a reflection of who we are and who we want to be. So you go out and you dominate an inferior opponent. That's what you're supposed to go out and do today, and start to develop some momentum, because there are some tougher games. Playing at Pittsburgh's going to be no picnic. I know the Eagles have not played well their last 2 games, but that's still going to be a tough team, I believe, when they visit Lambeau Field early in November on a Monday night. So you got to start building that momentum and start, to use a Mike McCarthy term, stacking successes as the season starts to go along. Now that we're a quarter of the way through. Like, if we're using that first quarter almost as, okay, that's also kind of the preseason, everybody's easing in that first month. All right, we're almost halfway through October now. All right, we got to start showing who you are a little bit more consistently.
Yeah, we're not going to judge a team strictly based off the month of September. That's something we're just not going to do in the NFL. But given that's the sample size we have right now, the Packers are good, not great. And that's my takeaway through 4 games. And obviously today, a good opportunity, to your point, on covering the spread, beat down an inferior opponent. And it's on to, I believe, Arizona, the next opponent.
At Arizona next week, and then the following week in prime time is the Sunday night game in Pittsburgh.
Against Aaron Rodgers and Steelers.
Which Aaron's going to be fired up for.
Oh, of course.
And I know he's going to pretend that he's not, but he's going to be fired up.
He is going to pretend he's not. You're absolutely right on that as well. When you look at that game that the Cincinnati Bengals played last week, it was a 37-24 loss to the Detroit Lions. But that was like a backdoor cover. If that's how the game played out today, I would not be upset.
Correct.
Where you were dominating the whole game, and then the fourth quarter, the Bengals able to score some points because Jamar Chase is a superhuman. I'm fine with that. But put up the 37. Assert your dominance early and often and prove you are the team we think you can be against a bad team. That's the story today. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. I mean, just go out there and, like you said, if it ends up being a backdoor cover, whatever. If Joe Flacco throws a touchdown late, because that would kind of be the same feeling that we had against Detroit, right? Oh, they scored a touchdown late in that game, makes it seem a little bit closer. But if you watch that game, you know how dominant the Packers were. And that's what I want. I want you to go out there and establish, hey, we can look really good on both sides of the ball. Because, again, it's just so funny. Going back to that Tom Silverstein piece, he pointed out where the Packers are statistically great. Third down. I mean, the passing yardage they've been able to amass, the way that they've been able to more or less attack quarterbacks and create pressure. Like, this team is really good, if not great, in a lot of areas that great teams are. But in those situational football moments, they failed the last 2 weeks. That's been a big issue. Obviously, the defense also just, I think, failed in general. But especially in those situational moments in that game against Dallas. So it's about getting those situational football things down right. And look, I don't think they should find themselves in a tight situational type thing the way that they did in their last 2 games. That's not what I'm looking for here today. But again, it's one of those things that you're hoping everybody who participated is going to be able to learn from it.
You're absolutely right on that. Gabe Neitzel, Alex Strofe with you. It's Green Bay Game Day, which is presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin with you. 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, and, of course, 620 WTMJ. Hey, Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. Distilled 6 times, still it's just right. Tito's is known for great vodka, giving back, and doing good for dogs. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly. Your biggest concern entering this matchup for the Packers against the Cincinnati Bengals? We will talk about that coming up next. Green Bay Game Day, ESPN Wisconsin, 620 WTMJ.
More Green Bay Game Day coming up on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Hungry for something fresh and delicious? Get your favorites from Cousin Subs delivered straight to your door. From our freshly baked bread and hand-sliced meats and cheeses to our famous sides, crispy golden fries, Wisconsin cheese curds, or creamy mac and cheese. Every meal made to order and ready to enjoy. Ordering is quick and easy online or through the Cousins app. Whether it's a solo lunch, family dinner, or a spread for the whole crew, let us bring it straight to you, fast and fresh. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
Game day in Green Bay means friends, food, football, and fun. But first, make sure your ride looks the part. Whether you're rolling up to the tailgate, headed to the watch party, or just cruising around town, a clean car sets the tone for victory. At Tsunami Express Car Wash, you'll get a fast, premium shine every time. Plus, free vacuums and detailing tools keep things looking spotless inside and out. With 13 locations and growing across Wisconsin, it's easy to swing through your way to the action. Kick off game day the right way. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat.
Hey, it's John McGivern here. You know I love Network Health. One of the reasons is that they're local and they understand how important that is. Their exceptional customer service isn't just words on a page. It's what they do. It's what they've always done for over 41 years. Call 8337-NETWORK today. HMO and POS plans underwritten by Network Health Plan. Compensation has been provided for using this endorsement of Network Health.
At Boucher, we don't just sell cars, we build careers.
For over 45 years, Boucher has been Wisconsin's trusted name in automotive excellence, and today we're growing faster than ever.
Whether you're an experienced professional or just starting out, Boucher is hiring across all departments: sales, service, finance, and more.
Enjoy industry-leading pay, unbeatable benefits, paid training, and a workplace that truly values you. Join the Boucher family, where we ride with you every mile, and your future rides with us. Apply today at Boucher.com.
At Tony Wendorf and Associates First Weber Group, we believe in the human side of real estate. For us, it's faith, family, and friends in that order. We live that every single day. I'm Tony Wendorf. We move fast, negotiate with confidence, and communicate clearly so our clients win. We operate from a place of gratitude, having donated nearly $200,000 back to our community since 2020. You deserve a team that delivers a luxury experience no matter the price point. Contact us today to get started. Tony Wendorf and Associates, trusted knowledge, superior service. Contact us at wendorfteam.firstweber.com.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Game Night Show for Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties and retreats can go a long way towards boosting morale and retaining top talent. Events by Design is your go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact. They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
Your neighbors are talking. Did you see their siding? Yikes. That drafty window? It's basically air conditioning. From nature. Don't be the scary house on the block this fall. Call Exterior Pros and Baths and get $3,000 off your roofing, siding, windows, or bath project. No tricks, just treats. That's 262-800-4274 or click your way to extpros.com. Fall in love with your home again. Trust the pros.
Welcome back to Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Green Bay Game Day presented Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Alex Ruff, Gabe Knightsel with you live from just outside of Lambeau Field at the Tundra Trio here in Green Bay. It's Packers-Bengals, a 3:25 kickoff from Lambeau Field today. Here in Week 6 of NFL action, the Packers 2-1-1 following their bye week and a tie in Dallas the last game they played. It's 2 weeks later. I'm still unsatisfied that there was no true result of that game.
Yeah, it stunk. Yeah.
Ties are dumb.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know what else you want to do in that situation.
Do a kickoff or so, not a kickoff, but like a field goal off.
No, that's boring.
Penalty kicks.
I guess I'm fine with the tie because it just doesn't happen all that often.
Like, it was the first tie in the NFL since when? Like
2022.
Yeah.
So the first NFL tie in 3 years. If you want to be unsatisfied and be upset with Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, that's fair.
For kind of turtling up and not having his team prepared, and Jordan Love for moving at the snails and operating at the snail's pace in which he was at the end of that game. And that's one of those things that the Packers have to clean up. That's the situational football that they have to be better at.
You just told me to be upset. I still am.
Yeah, but
Okay,
don't be
good.
just unsatisfied because it's a tie.
Well, I am.
Be mad it's a tie, but be mad at the Packers because it's their fault. It's their own damn fault.
I can be mad at everything, Gabe. It's my brain. I can be mad at whatever I want.
I'm trying to make your brain smart.
All right, before we get to our talking point, I've noticed you've been holding that same baseball for the last 24 hours plus.
That's correct, yeah. So
that's your fidget toy?
Yeah, I've kind of gotten away from it a little bit. I used to have when we were at Capitol Drive, and we were at again, this actually goes back to our old studios that we used to have across the street from where we are now in the 3rd Street Market Hall in the Gruber Losses One Call That's All Studios back in Milwaukee. I used to have bats in the studio. And I would kind of always have the bats around. And then, of course, Scalzo and Bruss kind of ruined it because they used the bat to destroy some stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because they're children and can't be trusted.
Yep.
So I had to have those bats taken away, and I always had one at my desk, and I had to carry it in. And then when we moved, I just never brought anything with me. And I was digging around my basement looking for something else earlier this week, and I had a bunch of baseballs down there, so I just happened to grab one. And now I've just enjoyed having it and carrying it around, and it's like a security blanket. I always just like to have something, and it just kind of helps keep me calm, especially as I was watching Game 5 last night, just to have something in my hands.
So you can call other people children, but that kind of just makes you a dog. Like you just have your favorite ball.
That's fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little Linus-ish, or he's got a security blanket. I have a security baseball. It's that's fine. I will wear that. But again, it just kind of, and again, help bring the Brewers a little bit of luck.
All right, glad we're on the same page. All right, your biggest concern entering Week 6, Packers-Bengals, as the Packers look for their first win in now over a month. September 11th to October 12th would be the stretch without a win for the Packers if they do end up winning today against Cincinnati. What's your biggest concern for this team right now?
I feel like one of the answers should be the cornerback position, but maybe it's because of my stubbornness, and I wasn't that concerned heading in.
Yeah, it is your stubbornness.
I still look at I wish the corners would have been put in better positions where, a couple of times on 3rd and 5, they're playing 9 yards off.
Yeah.
Just a free first down. Put them in competitive positions. And so I put that a little bit more on Jeff Hafley, and I think he's going to correct that. So I just look at the offensive line depth and health as kind of one problem because we were unsure of the depth coming in. And at times they've held up okay, but man, there's just so many health problems up and down that offensive line, whether it's Aaron Banks, whether it's now Rasheed Walker unable to fully go and practice throughout the course of this week. Obviously, the oblique injury is going to be a concern for Zach Tom, and I know he feels like he's probably going to be able to go today because he was able to anchor and do some of the things in practice that he did not do when he attempted to go out there and play one game against the Cleveland Browns. So I'm hopeful that he's able to navigate this the best he can, but ultimately, the depth of that offensive line, I think, and the health of it is a big reason why they have not been able to get the running game going the way that they've wanted to. There hasn't been the continuity. Josh Jacobs, hasn't played his best. But I think they kind of hopefully figured something out in the second half of that Cowboys game, and they can start using that momentum going forward. But that offensive line is my biggest concern.
I think that is there are two applicable answers, and you mentioned both of them. The biggest concern for me, though, is on the defensive side of the football. While I still believe in the pass rush, and I think today, obviously, a great opportunity to get that going against a weak offensive line and a slow quarterback, the defensive backfield scares me a little bit. Xavier McKinney is a really good player, but he just, it's almost impossible to duplicate what he did a year ago.
He's not going to have those interceptions, but also
it's the cornerback position.
Yeah, it's the cornerback position, because I think that Evan Williams has played really well. As the other safety. I think he has kind of stepped up his game a little bit. And when it comes to Xavier McKinney, with all the plays that he was able to make with Jeff Hafley last year, he's just in a no-throw zone. I think teams don't want to go in that direction unless they're desperate, and they want to pick on other things, and that's what they've been able to do. So now you need those other guys to be able to step up, kind of like, hey, Micah Parsons getting double, triple teamed. That allows, Lucas Van Neste, Rashawn Gary to eat. They did not do that against the Dallas Cowboys, but that's what you're kind of, it's kind of a similar effect. Hey, they're avoiding Xavier, so that's going to put some other guys hopefully in positions to make some plays. And I still think that Carrington Valentine is ultimately going to be fine. I really like the way that Keyshawn Nixon's played through 4 weeks. I think he's probably been better than most people want to give him credit for. So even if we want to get even more specific when it comes to the defensive backfield, it's not the DBs, because the safeties are good. It's not the corners as a whole. It's number 2 corner and number 3 corner. I think that's what we're really most concerned about, because I think Keyshawn Nixon has done what he's always done.
Yeah.
Whenever you put more responsibility in that man's lap, he's going to step up to the moment.
He seems like he has thus far. Obviously, George Pickens, but this wasn't even necessarily one-on-one, but he had a big game against the Packers defense in week number 4 on that Sunday Night Football tie. But all in all, Nixon's been good. You're absolutely right. When you open the checkbook and the pocketbook the way you did for Nate Hobbs, I know he's not massively paid, but you signed a corner on free agency. It's very kind of a non-Packers move, non-Packers-esque move in free agency, bringing in Nate Hobbs from Las Vegas. You have at least some level of expectation, don't you? And between injuries...
Oh, yeah, no, he hasn't lived up. I mean, the two off-season signings haven't lived up whatsoever. And they're a big reason why the offensive line and the cornerbacks have not performed to the level in which we expect them to perform.
Yeah, it's a good point by you. I mean, we talk about it all the time, but the Packers' offseason approach was replicate the Eagles to a point, right? Beef up the offensive line. You can't let what was an issue in the wild card game against Philadelphia last year be an issue, though it seems like it is still an issue here through 4 games. Defensively, you add to your pass rush by trading for Micah Parsons, and you try to add some corners. And while you have faith in Keyshawn Nixon to really take over that role of CB1, it seemed like you had some good faith in Carrington Valentine. Nate Hobbs has not lived up to the hype. Valentine had a rough game in Dallas. I think they can respond today, but this might be their toughest test of the season when you talk about a 1-2 punch at wide receiver.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think the pass rush is going to be something that's more of a factor today because the Bengals'
But we thought that in Dallas, too. Because their offensive line was banged up.
It was, but because Micah Parsons still did his job. He still got a sack.
True.
He was consistently applying
LVN
pressure.
and Rashawn Gary disappeared.
They did not play and step up the way they had in the first 3 games. I would expect, especially being at home, this defensive line and pass rush is going to get home more today than they did against the Dallas Cowboys. And if they don't, I expect Jeff Hafley to have a better answer than he did against the Dallas Cowboys as well. I mean, Joe Flacco's a statue back there. He's not going to want to hold on to the ball that long. He's uncomfortable because it's a new offense, it's new teammates. And the one thing Joe Flacco wants to do is throw the ball down the field. It's the one thing he's been very good at throughout the course of his career is pushing the ball down the field. And he's got a couple of guys that can do that. That's where the pass rush comes in, and you make sure that they're not able to do that.
Yeah, 3 of the next 4 weeks, really good opportunities for the Packers to truly tell us who they really are because they're playing primarily bad opponents, right? Cincinnati this week, who's been down and maybe not out yet. They're trying to stay alive for if Joe Burrow returns later in the season, but at this point, they are not a very good football team. That's why they trade for a guy like Joe Flacco to hopefully inject some hope into this franchise and their chances come January. Next week, you have the Arizona Cardinals who, their head coach was the center of the NFL controversy all week after his demeanor, if you will, with Amari DeMarcado after his fumble at the goal line on a 70-plus yard rush. Pittsburgh in 2 weeks is an interesting matchup. It's Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is going to get up for that game. It's a Sunday night game. There's obviously a lot of pressure on that one. And then the first game in November, you're back home here against the Carolina Panthers. So 3, for me, out of the 4 weeks, 3 really good opportunities to show us who the heck you are.
Yeah. And look, I think that Steelers game is going to be a very good opportunity to show who they are on the road.
Yeah.
Because that's something that they have really yet been able to do throughout the course of this year. And more than likely, when they head into that game, the Steelers are going to be first place in their division. So that is still a marquee matchup against a quality football team that you're going to want to go and try to beat. But it starts by building up that momentum today against the Cincinnati Bengals. You have that opportunity against Chase and Higgins. I know Chase has been dealing with illness. I fully expect when you're talking about somebody who's an NFL player dealing with illness.
On Thursday, by the way. This is a Thursday report.
I fully expect them to play Sunday. You know, it's not like the NBA where somebody comes down with the flu. It's like, okay, we've got 82 of these things. You sit out tonight. We'll figure it out. Like, any NFL player, unless you are just violently ill,
yes,
right? Like,
for days.
Yes. Most of the time, I feel like they just give you an IV. They give you some special, some special stuff, and you're going to be out on that field. But that's just the way I typically handle when guys are dealing with sickness in the NFL, with illness in the NFL.
Yeah, if it's reported Sunday, that's probably a different story than when it's reported
But
Thursday.
even then, I feel if it's reported Sunday, it's like, hey, he's not feeling great. He's going to play through it, and he's just not feeling great. I can't think of, the flu really keeping anybody out in an NFL game. Maybe I'm wrong, and somebody is going to hit us on the Carbos Talking text line and tell me that, hey, here's a specific example when it happened. I just feel like in my general memory, that's how I feel like it's kind of treated in the NFL. Oh, you're not feeling great? Come in early. We'll get you an IV. We'll get you a couple meds. You're going to be fine.
We are here at the Tundra Trio tailgate in Green Bay, and it wouldn't be Wisconsin football without brats on the grill and Coop's mustard on top. Coop's is part of our game day tradition. From classic yellow to Arizona heat to spicy brown to Dijon to honey Dijon, which I've been making some ham and cheese sliders with, baby. They bring the flavor. Coop's Mustard does. Coop's Mustard spreading the love since 1897. Rob Demovsky, ESPN NFL Nation reporter, bold, bald, beautiful. He joins us coming up next right here on Green Bay Game Day.
More Green Bay Game Day coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
At Greenberg Law Offices, we take great pride in helping those who have trusted us after a serious accident. Our team has the knowledge, resources, and experience to get you the results you deserve. Don't wait to get the help you need. Make the right call. Call Gruber Law Offices today. Proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
It's a bird bash at Potawatomi. Thursdays, you could win up to $50,000 cash in the Bird Bash game show. Just play with your rewards card this October for a chance to win. Wouldn't you like to rake in a huge pile of cash? Bird Bash, only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info at potawatomi.com/birdbash. Must be 21 years old to play.
The grill is hot, the crowd is loud, and the flavor? That's all Coops Mustard. Hey, it's Alex Stroh. For over 125 years, Coops has been the MVP of Game Day Eats with 14 bold flavors that make every brat, burger, and pretzel a championship bite. Because Coops isn't your ordinary mustard. It's extraordinary mustard. The kind that turns tailgates into traditions and touchdowns into taste bud celebrations. This football season, bring the bold, bring the flavor, bring Coops. Coops Mustard, spreading the love since 1897.
Neck and back surgeries can be risky. Your spine deserves the best. That's why professional athletes choose Neurospine Center of Wisconsin. We can help you too. With the top nationally rated spine surgeons in the state for quality outcomes, you can trust the professionals at Neurospine Center of Wisconsin. Get a second opinion in just a few clicks. Now offered virtually throughout Wisconsin. Visit nscwi.com. Whether you want to get back into the game or just get back to life, go where the pros go. Neurospine Center of Wisconsin. Your spine health is our passion.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris go inside Bucks training camp. Find Here District now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Your path to a degree should fit your life, not the other way around. At Lakeland University, you can personalize every part of your college experience. With a main campus in Sheboygan, evening classes across the state, and flexible online options, you choose how and when you learn. Just graduated high school, changing careers, juggling work and life, they've got options for you. You can even earn credit for experience you already have, or for the work you're doing now, saving time and money. Start customizing your future today at lakeland.edu/ESPN. Lakeland University. Experience it your way.
Here's a dose of reality. Driving under the influence of prescription painkillers is just as illegal and just as deadly as driving drunk. In fact, there are nearly 2,000 drug-related crashes every year in Wisconsin. Help prevent drug driving, and let's achieve zero preventable deaths on Wisconsin roadways. Driving on pills kills. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Departments of Health Services, Transportation, and Justice.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Green Bay Game Day, presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Alex Stroh, Gabe Neitzel with you from the Tundra Trio up here in Green Bay, just outside of legendary Lambeau Field, where we go inside of now as we are joined by the bold, the bald, the beautiful, our buddy, Rob Demovsky, covering the Packers for ESPN's NFL Nation. Rob, it feels like it's been forever. How you doing?
it's been forever since anyone's been inside Lambeau, other than those of us who work here on a daily basis. What a weird schedule. 2 games in 5 days at home, and then 1 game in 5 weeks or something like that. So it's good to be back home, though.
Yeah, and the Packers haven't won a game in over a month. September 11th, the last time they played at Lambeau, was their last victory, which, again, that's more scheduling than anything, but just kind of an odd statistic for a team that's 2-1-1.
Very odd. Yeah, very strange.
I'm sorry, I'm very distracted. Gabe, do you see that guy right there? He looks just like Rob from afar. You have a doppelganger at the Tundra Trio right now. I'm thrown off, but he's not on his phone, so it's not right. Fair enough. Hey, what are we expecting from the offensive line from a health perspective today?
Yeah, that's a great question, Alex. Zach Tom's going to play. He said he's good to go, and he tested it and was able to, really, in his mind, simulate what he couldn't simulate in practice the time before when he lasted 1 play. So I think that's at least a positive. Aaron Banks, it seems like he's trending toward playing. The good thing, I guess the good indication about those guys is that they didn't elevate anyone yesterday, from the practice squad for game day. No offensive linemen anyway were not elevated. Rasheed Walker came back and practiced a little bit on Friday after not practicing Thursday after getting hurt in practice on Wednesday. Usually it's not good when guys, have an injury that wasn't from the previous game and comes up during practice. So we'll see about that. If he doesn't go, then Jordan Morgan would start at left tackle. But, the matchup obviously there with Trey Hendrickson is a big one.
So yesterday, very quietly, because there was something else going on in the sports world in Wisconsin that everybody was distracted by, Lucas Haversick is signed to the active roster. For those who don't know, he is a kicker. Is that a move telegraphing that Brandon McManus is not going to be able to go as he was listed as questionable, or because is that hey, we've got extra roster spots, let's go ahead and add the kicker and see how Brandon feels on Sunday?
Regardless, before you go, Rob, this is such a weird story. It's called a major concern by LaFleur, and then McManus says, no, I'm fine. He must have something else in his thesaurus, and they sign a kicker. I'm just confused by all of it.
Yeah. Well, I think the one point that Gabe made about the roster spot, they actually have 2 roster spots. They only had 51 on the roster going into this week, so they did have a free roster spot, essentially. From what Haversink's people were told, and this is what I was told yesterday at about 4 o'clock, is that they still expect McManus to give it a go, that he's planning to play. So that would mean that Haversick is here just for emergency purposes. Now, here's the question I have, and we won't know this until about 1:55, is if they're both active. Like, even if McManus is going to kick, do they have Lucas Haversick active anyway, just in case? I was just out on the field a little bit ago just to see if any kickers were out yet. They weren't. It's a little early for that, but the pregame kicking warm-ups will be interesting to watch. But as far as of late yesterday afternoon, Lucas Haversick was under the impression, I was told, that he was signed as an emergency basis.
I mean, I would assume it, even if he's the emergency and they think he's going to go, you sign him to be active in case there is an emergency, because what's the point of having an emergency kicker and making him inactive? That wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, and the only contradiction to that might be that they wanted to wait to see McManus go through the pregame kicking warm-ups, and if he felt okay, then maybe they would make him inactive. But you're right. I mean, that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. The other thing, too, is the kicking warm-ups, typically they're early, but I don't know if they're quite as early as the inactives. Now, obviously, they could come out and do it earlier than usual if they wanted, but the timing of this whole thing will be interesting here in the next hour or so.
ESPN NFL Nation reporter covering the Packers, Rob Demovsky, with us here on Green Bay Game Day. Rob, the Packers defense certainly not super successful in their tie in Dallas, allowing 40 points, really 38 the defense allowed in that tie. I almost called it a loss again in Dallas 2 weeks ago. They're going up against an offense who has a bad offensive line, like we said, going into Dallas. But they have 2 really good receivers. What are you expecting in terms of a rebound for this Packers defense after a week off?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that's interesting to me, well, a couple things. Obviously, the quarterback change with Cincinnati. Their offensive line's terrible, and you have Micah Parsons, who's got more pressures than anybody in the NFL in the last 5 years, except for Max Crosby. Trey Hendrickson is third on that list, by the way. But you also have two really dangerous receivers, in Higgins and Chase. And the Packers have been pretty good the last year or so about not letting one receiver really beat them. Now, George Pickens did have the big 100-yard game last time out, part of that in overtime, of course. But that's the last time that they allowed a receiver 100 yards before Pickens. Any idea when that was?
100-yard receiver, Pickens.
So going back to last season.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't this year. It was last year, and it was a long.
I'll say Amon-Ra St. Brown.
A.J. Brown, week 1. That was the last.
Oh, it was week 1.
So yeah. So that was the last. I don't know. I guess not counting playoffs. I didn't look at the playoffs. But my point is they're not. It's not like the old days where it seemed like one guy would beat them all the time, right? Like there were how many times where it was like everybody in the place knew it was going to Justin Jefferson or whoever, and they still couldn't stop it. So I do think they're better positioned from a defensive standpoint on all those accounts today. Not the least of which is that the Bengals' offensive line stinks.
Sticking with the defense, we know that Devontae Wyatt is not going to be playing in today's game with that knee injury. What do we expect that interior to look like? Who are they going to rely upon? Because while I don't think we can say, Devontae Wyatt went out and that's why the Cowboys scored 5 touchdowns in 6 drives. But I think it factored in.
Yep. No, it definitely did. Warren Brinson's going to get his first shot at real playing time today. The rookie will be active. But I mean, it falls on the 3 guys that were active last week, and that's the interior guys of Nazir Stackhouse, Carl Brooks, and Colby Wooden. But it will be interesting to see how much Brinson gets, how much work he gets, and if he can add anything to the mix. They also might, I don't know, I don't say we'll do this for sure on early downs, but they've been, using the 3 pass rushers with Lucas Van Ness inside a lot more on third down. Do they try that on first and second down as well, Gabe? I mean, there are things they can do. They can move Micah Parsons around, which really they haven't done as much of that as Parsons had done in Dallas. So I do think they've had the whole bye week to prepare for this. It's not like this is an injury that just popped up late in the week or even during the game. So you would think that Jeff Hafley and company would have a better plan for it.
Couple more minutes with Rob Demovsky here on Green Bay Game Day. How's Jordan Love feeling after the Dallas tie and the bye week? I imagine it's been an interesting few weeks for him and his psyche.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit weird because he's played pretty well, pretty turnover-free, except for the 2 turnovers that he has have been killers, right? Like the interception backed up against the Bengals and then the fumble at the end of the half, which I know LaFleur said he takes responsibility. He shouldn't have, he should have just ran the clock out there. But Jordan Love's got to know that pass rush could be coming. And Rasheed Walker got beat on the play, right? I get it. Blindside guy gets beat. But, that's still on the quarterback, and as good as he's been taking care of the ball, those 2 turnovers, they both came backed up inside their own 25 or 30-yard line, which is a really, really bad place for turnovers.
Do you think that they found something the way they did running the football in the second half against the Cowboys, and that we're going to start to see more of 2024 Josh Jacobs going forward?
Yeah, it was interesting because Jacobs told us this week that he feels like it usually takes him 3 or 4 weeks to get going, and no matter what the season is. And you know what? I'm not sure that's true because if you go back and look last year, he had
150 yards in week 2.
Yeah. So he had a huge game last year early on. So I don't know if that's necessarily true. And I don't know how much we can put into the 70 yards, and it's a lot, 70 yards in the fourth quarter of overtime that Jacobs had. I think he's only got 270 for the season. So a pretty good percentage of his rushing yards came in the fourth quarter and overtime against the Cowboys. And I don't know how much we can put in that they found something or the Cowboys' run defense just isn't very good. But I do think that they need to figure that out because that was one of the things that I thought made this offense so good last year was how well they were able to run the ball. And it wasn't always easy either. It wasn't always massive holes. Josh Jacobs is really good at getting yards after contact. And I think they need to try to get back to that in order to get this offense sort of running in a complete fashion, because it's been fits and starts a little bit so far at different points of the game.
All right, Rob, last thing as always, how do you think this one plays out today as the Packers return to action after their bye week?
Is the line still 14.5, Alex?
It is.
Yes.
So it didn't change with Flacco, right? Because it was 14.5.
It did not. It didn't move at all.
Which I thought is interesting.
Right now, ESPN Bet has it at 13.5.
Oh,
so it dropped below two.
Right.
There you go.
Two touchdowns gets you the cover.
Yeah, well, that's a big point there. Before the Joe Flacco acquisition, I thought the Packers win by 15 or more. Now I'm thinking they win, but maybe it's closer to the spread line this time. I mean, Flacco's got to have some positive impact. Even though he really didn't do much against them a couple of weeks ago, but he didn't have two receivers like he has today. So, I do think they win double digits. I don't know if it's quite 13.5, though.
Love it. Rob Demovsky, read him at ESPN.com. You see him on everything. SportsCenter, NFL Live, all the in-betweens, and hear him with us here on ESPN Wisconsin. Thanks, Rob. Enjoy the game. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys. We'll be seeing you.
The great Rob Demovsky. Hey, brats, coolers, friends, you've got it all, but rolling into the tailgate with a clean car, that is the real MVP move. Keep it spotless. With a Tsunami Express car wash membership with 13 locations and growing, it's easy to swing through on your way to the action. Tsunami Express, wash, chill, repeat. We check in with the mayor of Sicily, Steve Scaffiti, the birthday boy, joins us coming up next on Green Bay Game Day.
Stay right here. Green Bay Game Day will be right back on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Now's the time to plan your total experience getaway to the Island Resort and Casino. With over 450 hotel rooms and a luxurious spa, relax in style before diving into nonstop casino action. Watch your favorite teams on the big screens and enjoy great food and drinks at T. McSee Sports Bar, or savor top-tier dining at Horizon Steakhouse. Then amp up your night with live music and comedy. Head to where the big game, big wins, and big fun come together. The Island Resort and Casino.
Hey Wisconsin, it's football season and that means it's time to break out the Bandito with El Bandito Yankee, the official tequila of game day. 100% Blue Weber agave, all natural and so smooth it's criminal. Try the award-winning Blanco, Reposado, and Yeho and the new high-proof Plata 47. Ask for El Bandito Yankee at your favorite bar or restaurant and buy it today at Woodman's and Festival Foods. And for tailgates, recipes, and more places for purchase, go to elbanditoyankee.com.
Fans, don't let dirt and road grime bench your car this October baseball season. Step up to the plate with Tsunami Express Car Wash, where every visit delivers the MVP shine. With unlimited washes, fast lane access, and free vacuums, you can keep your ride looking like a champion all season long for less than $1 a day. And with 7 Milwaukee area locations, including New Berlin, it's easy to score big no matter where you're headed. Join the winning team today at TsunamiExpress.com. That's Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat.
Macy's Star Deals Week is back. It's one incredible week packed with epic savings on the best fall styles. That means luxurious 100% cashmere sweaters are now just $79.99. The latest beauty from Shiseido, Mac & More, $30 off every $150 you spend. Plus, exclusive online-only daily flash deals and so much more. It's the one week you really can't miss. Macy's Star Deals Week is going on now. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Progressive's Teen Driver discount could lower the cost of insurance for your teenager and save you some money. And then you can still spend money on them. Because just when you think you have a grasp on spending, new sneakers. And then it's money for a school field trip. And of course, spending money. Oh yeah, and a new phone to replace the one they dropped in the toilet. Oh, don't remind me. So just get Progressive's Teen Driver discount. And then you can continue to spend money on them endlessly. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discount not available in all states and subject to terms and conditions.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of the Neal Group. You may have heard Congress pass the One Big Beautiful Bill which President Trump campaigned on, leaving the non-tax parts out. What does the law mean for business? To be honest, less than you think. There are larger deductions for purchasing equipment and other fixed assets in the year of purchase. The qualified business deduction, or QBID, is now a permanent deduction for partnerships and S corporations. Remember the 1099-K back and forth? The minimum amount for issuing 1099-Ks, which are typically from credit card companies or e-commerce sites like Amazon or Shopify, will now be $20,000. Call us now for a free consultation to see how you may be affected by the new law. Call 414-325-2040 now. You earned it. We help you keep it. That's 414-325-2040 or nealgroup.net.
For general contest rules, visit ESPNWisconsinContest.com.
Station updates, show clips, and your place to interact with us every single day just by scrolling through your feed. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ESPN Milwaukee.
I feel so stuck.
The Veterans Crisis Line is here for you. Dial 988, then press 1 to call.
This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Alex Strofe, Gabe Neitzel with you at the Tundra Trio just outside of Lambeau Field. And we're operating a man down this week, Gabe. Our buddy Steve Scaffiti's not here.
Yeah, it's felt a little empty without Scaffiti.
It has, especially here in this first hour. Steve Scaffiti here on Point Taken from 10 a.m. to noon, right here on 620 WTMJ, as well as with us for Green Bay home games on Green Bay Game Day. Well, he is celebrating his birthday in Sicily, and he joins us on the phone now. Steve, happy birthday.
Oh, volare! How are you guys doing?
We're really good, but we are slightly confused. Steve, when is your birthday?
My birthday was, let's see, so yesterday was the 11th. That was my birthday, yes.
Okay, so did you lie on your job application about when your birthday was? Because we get company emails every week saying, hey, here's the rundown of birthdays in the office this week. And the email I received said your birthday was Friday, October 10th.
No. That's Brett Favre's birthday, I believe, isn't it?
It is. That's correct. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
No,
that's not my birthday. My birthday was yesterday. Celebrated in Sicily, which is absolutely fantastic. Gorgeous weather all week.
Yeah, so you're off gallivanting in Sicily. Tell me how much, in gallons, the amount of wine you've had to consume.
I tempered my enthusiasm in the vino today, just because I knew it was going to be on with you guys. But I would say conservatively, I would say probably in gallons, since I've been here for 9 or 10 days.
Yeah, I was about to say, you've been there for a minute.
4 or 5 gallons. Yeah,
Good
4 or
for
5
you.
gallons, I would say.
Good for you. That's fantastic.
It's like water. It's like water in Italy. You know that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it looks like you're having a blast. I've seen some
You
pictures
sit down
and
to
videos.
eat, and
here's a gallon.
Well, most people go, oh, do you want sparkling or tap water? And they ask you, do you want red or white wine when you sit down in Sicily? So that's just the way it goes.
All those things are true. Yes, naturale, or the fizzy water, which I don't like. Red or white is generally the option. I went light this tonight because I knew I was going to be on with you guys. But I will resume red consumption shortly after I'm done with you guys. But I got to ask you the question: are the Packers ready to play today? Are we going to have a game that's worthy of what we thought 2 or 3 weeks ago when we were talking about this at Lambeau Field? Because I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. After a bye week and a tie, I would think you'd be extra amped up for this one back on your home field for the first time in over a month, seeking your first win in over a month, the last win for the Packers, September 11th. So I certainly hope so to answer your question, but I cannot say that definitively until like the end of the first quarter.
All right, because I am cautiously optimistic, but my enthusiasm, as you like to say, has been dampened by their last 2 performances. And in the bye week, of course, we're all wondering what this team is. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I may stay up because I have a 3 a.m. wake-up call to get to Malta, which is a separate country, which I'm flying to tomorrow. So I'm going to be up all night watching the game anyway.
This guy rocks.
Yeah.
This guy rocks.
World traveler, yes.
I
Yes.
think I think they're going to be ready to play. I think that Lambeau Field is going to be rocking, hopefully, because there was a palpable excitement Steve, and you were inside the stadium for those games. There's a palpable excitement, and Lambeau was starting to feel like it was the mid-'90s again with the way that the team had played, with what Micah Parsons had been doing, and I'm hoping that excitement and energy is recreated today. Something that I've talked about on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, with Chewy a bunch, is trying to reestablish Lambeau Field as a place that nobody wants to come and play. We haven't had that feeling for a while, and I'm hoping that that can continue with A, the play that they have inside, and B, the crowd that comes ready to be loud for this team, especially when they're on defense.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it yesterday I did catch some of the Brewers broadcast, the impact of the crowd, especially in a big game. We're not in the playoffs, of course, in the NFL, but I want to see a Lambeau crowd that is back to what we saw in those first 2 weeks where it was just off the charts. We all thought it was like, this is the recreation of 96 or 2010. I hope that's what they're doing, and I love the comments of Micah Parsons this week, who said, yeah, we got to make a name for ourselves, paraphrasing him, but this team has potential. But I'm going to say this coaching staff, I think, has done more harm lately than good by sort of tempering the enthusiasm of a defense, especially, and an offense that was ready to cut loose and be the stars of the NFL. I felt like Matt LaFleur and Halfley and Rick Bisaccia let him down in the last couple games.
Bisaccia especially, I'll just throw that out there.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think when it comes to that coaching staff, I think, and that's why I think this bye, even though we all don't like it, Steve, being as early as it was, I think the bye ends up coming at a good time because everybody's got a little extra time for that self-reflection. And I think the coaching staff that likes to self-scout during that bye week, I think they're going to have some good, long, hard talks. I think they did over the last couple of weeks. I fully expect this team, not just today, but over the next handful of games, to just be able to come out firing and have a coaching staff that has them maybe a little more prepared than they were for the Browns and Cowboys games.
So are we seeing Flacco again? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, Joe Flacco got traded to Cincinnati on Tuesday.
He wasn't that impressive in the last game when we was playing for the other team. But
correct.
No. At home, I think that should be okay, and this defense is ready to step up again. So I'm not worried about this game, but I think, again, so going back to what we said the first 2 weeks, time to make a statement again that this is the team to watch in the NFC North and in the NFL. This is a team worthy of that attention, but they sort of dampened everybody's spirits by their performance in the last few weeks.
Is there a lead that would be large enough for the Packers, since you now have an early morning flight as part of your European vacation? Is there a lead large enough that you would go, hey, this is in hand, the Packers have this, I can go to bed and be well rested? Yes.
Yeah. More likely to go to the bar, but I appreciate.
All right,
the
hey, and that's why we love you, Steve.
Yep.
And that's why we love you.
Yeah. They have this weird thing in Sicily, like the bars never close. They just stay open.
That's awesome. Not weird. Weird is not the word. That's great.
Yeah, like I said, that directly relates to my gallons of consumption. And here's the funny thing: I feel perfect. I feel great. I just ate like an 18-course meal over the last 3 hours. They packed the food in. I try to be as good as I can because Milwaukee Weight Loss wants to monitor what I weigh, so I think I'm okay. But Sicily's amazing, but I'm geeked about this game. I'm so excited about this Packers season. You know this because we talked about it in the first few games. This is a chance for this team to be something, and I don't want the coaches to sort of throw it away. Let's let this team be itself, be good, be amazing, especially on defense, and show us something and stop being disappointed. Stop trying to temper our enthusiasm because I have a lot of it.
You certainly do. Steve Scaffiti with us here on Green Bay Game Day. Alex Strofe, Gabe Neitzel with you from the Tundra Trio in Green Bay. So how are we consuming the game? I know we've talked a lot about wine consumption, but how is it televised in Sicily? Were you able to watch the Brewers? No. Break this all down for us. Are you actually going to be able to watch it?
Yeah, basically you just find it wherever you can find it on the internet. You're not watching anything live. You see it a couple minutes later. Same thing we did with the Brewers last night. Because that was all unfolding at, I don't know what it was, 2 or 3 in the morning, and we have a lot of Brewers fans with us. So that was insane, and I love the fact that, Alex, how excited you were when they got it done yesterday. That's a great story on its own. But I want the same thing for the Packers, and we're going to be trying to watch it in any way possible. There's a ton of Packer fans with me from all over the state, including Green Bay. We have some Green Bay travelers with us. So we're going to find it, and then those who don't will wake up in the morning with hopefully good news, hopefully a 3-touchdown victory, which is what should happen. I think they're 14.5-point favorites, which always scares me when you're a Packers fan, especially lately.
Yeah, that big of a line.
At home. What's the weather like there?
It's beautiful.
I would say it's a little bit warmer than what you're expecting for the middle of October. I think it's like 60, 65 degrees, little overcast, so not a ton of sun. But, there's nothing wrong with the weather. Little bit of a breeze, not overly breezy.
High of 64, but Gabe nailed it. It's beautiful out. And, hey, whether it's a cold Lambeau breeze, a rainy afternoon, or that perfect fall football chill, you want windows that can handle it all with a 90% satisfaction rate. Window Nation can install your windows in one day depending on the job. Right now, when you buy 2 replacement windows, you'll get 2 free, plus pay nothing for 2 whole years. Hurry, that sale ends at the end of the month. Schedule your free estimate now at windownation.com. That's your Window Nation weather report from meteorologist Gabe Neitzel.
It's a beautiful October day, Steve. This is one you might even consider sitting outside because it's that nice.
It's very nice.
That's a rare thing when I sit outside. You know that. Now here, it's been 75 and sunny for 10 straight days. We're heading to Malta where it'll be in the 80s. And I'm going to Malta, which is a separate country now. It used to be part of Italy because it's one of the most ancient places on the earth. But here's the thing. I'm going to go to Malta, and I'm going to celebrate a Packers victory because that's what's going to happen tonight. That's what I'm going to do.
Hell yeah.
When I grow up, I want to be Steve Scaffiti.
Doesn't everybody?
Yeah, I think so. Steve, enjoy your travels.
Not all, but most.
Yeah, not all. Not most. Enjoy your travels. Enjoy the wine. Miss you, buddy. We'll see you soon.
I'll see you next time.
All right, there we go. The great Steve Scaffiti. He'll be back soon from his overseas trips. He's the man.
He's great.
We do have some college football news for those of you interested. Penn State has fired head coach James Franklin.
Did not see Franklin being fired before Fickle coming. Did not see that one coming.
After 3 straight losses, another one to Northwestern yesterday, I'm not shocked, but today is the day for Penn State. They have fired head coach James Franklin.
It's a $50 million buyout.
Okay, so that actually sets the new Big Ten record, which Luke Fickell, I believe, would still top at this point. I believe it's still like $55 million buyout for Luke Fickell after that embarrassing showcase yesterday in Madison. So there's your college football update here on Green Bay Game Day. When we come back, it is the Jason Wilde hour of Green Bay Game Day. He will join us for the entire 1 o'clock hour. We'll get you some scores from around the league, and we will continue to preview this one between the Packers and the Bengals here in week number 6 of NFL action. He's Gabe Neitzel. I'm Alex Strofe with you. It is Green Bay Game Day presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
More Green Bay Game Day coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Oh no, there's only seltzer left, and it's passionberry almond fruit? Who comes up with these? Kick the aluminum can to the curb and mix up a cocktail you actually want with Tito's. It tastes great, it's gluten-free, and it's available in a variety of sizes for your convenience. The flavor abilities are endless. Tito's Handmade Vodka, the official spirit of whatever you want to drink. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
Homer for Window Nation. It's October, and if you've got old windows, that means you're back to dealing with chilly air seeping into your home. Eliminate annoying drafts once and for all with Window Nation in Milwaukee. This month, buy 2 windows, get 2 for free, plus pay nothing for 2 years. With the holidays coming up, it's a big deal, and they can do it so quickly. Don't miss out on free windows and 0 payments for 2 years with Window Nation, proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Visit windownation.com before October 31st to get started. Homer here from ESPN Milwaukee. What makes living at 3 Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Dave.
The campus is beautiful. For me, nature is my church, and I love being outside. We live by the Bark River, and it's just it's calming. It just calms my soul. I just love it. A lot of the people, I'm talking about 100-year-old people, 90 years old, say they credit 3 Pillars with living longer.
This is an ad by BetterHelp.
BetterHelp therapists have helped more than 5 million people worldwide on their mental health journeys. Moments in therapy, like the right question or a safe space to cry or a small win, can really change lives. This World Mental Health Day, we're celebrating the therapists who have helped millions of people take that step forward. If you're ready to find the right therapist for you, BetterHelp can help you start that journey. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/timeout. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout.
I walk on the shoulders of giants who have come before me. I am ASAP and Maya Angelou. I am Marva Collins and Frederick Douglass. From A to Z, I celebrate
emulate, and commemorate their example.
This is part of the Declaration of Excellence Milwaukee College Prep scholars recite not just during Black History Month, but each and every morning. Because our students don't just honor history, they're determined to shape it. Enroll your scholar for the 2025-26 school year at MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com.
From the baseball playoffs to regular season football, Prize Picks is the best way to win cash watching our favorite teams. Which players are going off? Which ones are overhyped? Well, make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your takes into cash all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. Prize Picks now offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. Prize Picks also offers injury reboots. If one of your players leaves the game in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks won't count it as a loss. Prize Picks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. Join millions of users. Sign up for America's #1 fantasy sports app. Download the Prize Picks app today and use that code WI to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code WI to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
Outfit your crew. Your workforce is your brand. From uniforms to safety apparel, Alpha Custom Apparel helps you outfit your team with gear that looks sharp and works hard. We create durable, functional apparel that keeps your crew comfortable and confident on the job. No more digging through endless catalogs. We handle the details so you can focus on running your business. With fast turnaround, custom options, and friendly Midwest service, we make it easy to keep your team looking their best. Visit alphacustomapparel.com. Let's get to work.
Hey, this is Homer. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. It's finally game day.
6, good protection, pass wide open, making the catch and getting into Washington territory. Tucker Kraft pulls his way down to the 20-yard line.
And the countdown to kickoff starts now.
What's the fake? Pass caught, touchdown, Green Bay Romeo Dobbs.
This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Broadcasting live from the shadow of the south end zone at Lambeau Field. Alongside Gabe Neitzel and 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde. Here's Alex Strofe.
Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Alex Strofe, Gabe Neitzel with you from just outside the Tundra, or just outside Lambeau Field at the Tundra Trio in Green Bay. And we've got Jammin' Jason Wilde, the 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, co-host of Wilde and Tausch with us, dancing.
What if I stand farther back?
I don't know. That's
my head in there now?
That's up to Will. Will
you're
Summers.
in there. I mean, it looks fine, but it's kind of awkward now because if I want to talk to you, I want to look at you.
Well, I like
Why can't you
standing
sit
up because you have better energy when you're standing up.
All right, here's what we're going to do.
Well, not now.
Nope,
you're not going to move the camera. Come on, there's people listening to this on the radio.
I'm going to do it right now. I'm just going to move the camera up.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to stand up.
Am I good now?
We're good? Or was that too much? That might have been too much. I think we're okay.
Got a great view of the sky.
All right.
Meanwhile, now Gabe is just in this tiny little corner here.
Now we all got to stand.
Okay, now we're standing. There we go. Jason Wilde is here. Hi, Jason. You got your early bye week, and now it's back to work for the Green Bay Packers against the Bengals.
I really appreciate you guys doing this, but now you're not in the shot either. Look at this. Right here. There we go. Right there.
Okay.
Those are my guys. I'm a stander. I'm not a sitter. Yeah, I didn't have really a bye week per se. Like I kept writing and kept doing the show, so it's not really that different for me.
Well, I wasn't alluding to your bye week. I was alluding to the team you covered.
You said back from your bye week.
I said back from their bye week. The Packers get ready to play.
We'll have
the
to check the tape.
Yeah,
I'm not sure he said that.
Right. Can you just talk about the team, please? That's why you're here. We pay you to do that.
Those are the kind of questions that I hate in press.
Oh, suddenly he's a part of management now.
He's in HR.
Hey, Josh DiMaggio is part of management now. Anything is possible for me.
That's very fair. Look. We were talking about this earlier in the week. I can't remember if I was talking to you on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, or you on KBN, or you on Weekly Wilde, or wherever it was. But weird stuff happens when the Packers play the Bengals, man.
Yeah.
Dude.
Antoine Odom with his 5 sacks in a game, and I think he has like 9 career sacks or something ridiculous. You've got the miss-off between the two kickers
McPherson
in Cincinnati a few years ago, yes. And then my favorite when Brett Favre is back to pass, and the guy comes and plucks the ball out of his hand.
This will make you feel old, but that was my first actual memory as a Packers fan.
Well, I heard you, it won't make me feel old because I heard you earlier today discussing 1998 with Craig on Sunday Karma while I was on, and you said that was before you were born. That was my third season on the beat.
I was born December of 98. I was born on a Monday night football game that year. They lost. I forget who they were playing.
Tampa Bay.
You got it. They were playing the Buccaneers.
Nice
They
pull.
lost the Buccaneers December 7th, 1998. I was born at 8:36 p.m. that evening. I was born during a Packers game.
What a blessing to all of us you were.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
Especially your parents and maybe us.
Especially you.
I like that sweatshirt, the throwback. I kind of like
man.
that. I saw a
Guess
guy
what?
with an owl and a Packers logo, though. What is that?
That's OVO, October's very own. That is Drake, the rapper. That is his brand.
That would explain why I didn't understand it.
Very good. Fun fact, Gabe Neitzel also owns the sweatshirt.
Really?
Yeah, I try to avoid wearing it now so we don't go, twinsies on game day.
That's smart. I also saw one of our partners has a Brewers jersey in Packers
I saw that as well. I saw
which
that.
I thought was
That's
a
fun.
really nice touch given this scenario.
A Bryce Pop jersey over there.
Maybe it's Bryce
Been
Pop.
been years since I've seen a Bryce Pop jersey. But you like to talk about, in terms of one of the stories you wrote over the bye week, was about how you get what you emphasize in the NFL.
Yep.
And the Packers obviously emphasize turnovers. They haven't gotten the turnovers. What else do you think they looked at the tape, did the self-scout? What else are they going to emphasize coming into this game?
Well, look, I think there's a couple of things. And first of all, on the offensive side of the ball, and I know we talked about this during the course of the week, and Jordan Love talked about it on Wednesday. Somebody asked him how he feels about the start to the season. He said, it's been great, which I don't disagree. Now, generally, if you ask me, hey, what'd you think of the segment? Oh, I was great. But I understood what he was saying because he was setting up then the follow-up, which is, but there's been those key turnovers, like the turnovers suck.
Yep.
And I was saying this morning on Sunday Karma as well, that, look, you could put a little bit of blame on Matt LaFleur for all three of the scenarios, right? The interception in Cleveland, if you run the ball, you're fine. The turnover at the end of the half on the Strack, as Tausch calls them, being a little aggressive there on the coach's part. But again, you got to have the pocket awareness not to allow that to happen. And then the dawdling at the end of overtime, and they barely have 1 second left to kick the game-tying field goal to force the tie. They need Jordan Love to eliminate those. And if he does, then Tausch and Jesse's big bet on him being the MVP, those odds look really good then, right? But being a great quarterback in this league, that's one of the key components of it, is not making those mistakes in those moments. And so I think that's one thing that Jordan is focused on. And then obviously defensively, they need to get more out of the Parsons effect than they got in Dallas. The fact that LVN didn't record a single statistic, the fact that the NFL leader in sacks at the time, Rashawn Gary, didn't even have a pressure in that game. Those are things we don't want to see.
I mean, and to go back to the Jordan Love thing, I mean, there was a pretty bad interception that Patrick Mahomes threw in their last game,
right,
when they were taking on Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. But everybody moves past that because Patrick Mahomes has a pretty long resume of coming through in those situations.
Right, but that doesn't mean – and I had somebody on social media, which I love,
Your favorite, yeah.
say, are you going to nail Patrick Mahomes to the cross the way you nail Love to the cross for his failures? And I'm not crucifying anyone, literally or figuratively.
Pontius Pilate over here.
I am. I washed my hands of it.
Well, I'm glad you had to clarify the literally part. That's good, yeah.
That's a good Christianity reference. That's good. My Lutheran background paying off. Look, you get criticized as that's part of the territory as a quarterback, and so that criticism that he receives for those mistakes, it means you're a really good player.
Yeah.
Because that's what stands out compared to all the other. I mean, he's thrown for 1,000 yards. He's fourth in the league in passer rating, but they need him to avoid those mistakes, along with all the great stuff he's been doing.
And because every quarterback is going to make mistakes, but it's how do you bounce back from that? What is your resume? How do you build that up? For the longest time, if you want to just compare it to Brett, and Brett had great moments late in games. Obviously, the first one he ever played against the Cincinnati
Bengals.
Another
weird thing that happened, right?
Yeah, with Brett, but. I mean, there was a time where they had a coaches meeting of, man, this guy turns the ball over a little too much. Do we put Brunell in?
Right.
Like, that was a legitimate conversation. And then obviously Brett goes on and does the things that he does. And, yeah, he's going to have games where he throws 6 interceptions in a playoff game, but he also had a lot more positives that overcame that. So for Jordan, yes, those are 2 negative things on the resume right now. You've got some good things that have overcome it, but next time you find yourself in a tight game, which hopefully is not today, but next time you find yourself in a tight game or late, half situation, how do you take care of the football? How do you learn? How do you grow and overcome those moments?
Yeah, and let's be honest. They had a bye week, but they haven't won in a month.
Yep.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that sounds crazy, but this is the kind of, Strofe tried to, he was gentle about bringing this up, but because he knows that it's one of the terms that I don't like, along with trap game and wounded animal game.
Get right game?
But this is a get right game. It is. And this is an opportunity for them to get all those things that have been okay but not great going. The turnover thing is maddening to me. Because I really don't think that they've done a bad job of emphasizing it. And usually you get what you emphasize in the league. That's why it's a cliche, and they just haven't succeeded in that.
It's tough to get interceptions, Jason, when it's 3rd and 5 and your corners are playing 9 yards off. Tough to get interceptions in those scenarios.
Yeah, but you would think with the pressure that they should be able to generate, there'd be more sack fumbles. There hasn't been a single one of those.
Yep.
And Xavier McKinney, I was talking to him about this week, and I didn't find the space for it in my coverage at Channel 3000, but teams are avoiding him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I would say that today is a game where he's going to have to they won't be able to avoid him because they want to get the ball to their 2 best receivers, and he will have to be involved in defending that.
It is game day. Are you heading up to Green Bay? Make a quick stop at Higher Love Cannabis Company, just over the border in Menominee, Michigan, less than an hour from Green Bay. Award-winning, locally owned, organically grown, the best in the Midwest. Visit findhigherlove.com/CBD. That's findhigherlove.com/CBD for more info. You saw Higher Love recently, didn't you? Did you drive past it?
I did. Menominee, Michigan. The girls had a varsity golf tournament just across the river in Menominee. And I did not stop in. I was late to get to the course.
Yeah.
But I hear you mention them all the time. And I'm here to say it's not that long of a drive. It's a pretty really short drive if you want to make it.
If you're up here in Green Bay, it's the best choice is Higher Love in Menominee. We continue the Jason Wilde Hour previewing Packers-Bengals coming up right after this. It's Green Bay Game Day presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
More Green Bay Game Day coming up on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Now's the time to plan your total experience getaway to the Island Resort and Casino. With over 450 hotel rooms and a luxurious spa, relax in style before diving into nonstop casino action. Watch your favorite teams on the big screens and enjoy great food and drinks at T. McSee Sports Bar, or savor top-tier dining at Horizon Steakhouse. Then amp up your night with live music and comedy. Head to where the big game, big wins, and big fun come together. The Island Resort and Casino.
Every family adventure begins with a vehicle you can trust. At Boucher Automotive Group, we're more than just a dealership, we're part of your journey.
For over 40 years, Boucher has helped Wisconsin families find the right vehicle with service you can count on.
Community is what fuels us too. That's why you'll see us supporting local schools, Little League teams, golf outings, and other causes throughout the year.
From the first time you get behind the wheel to every service visit after, Boucher is there for all the miles and the memories that matter.
The Boucher Automotive Group. We ride with you every mile.
Pitch by pitch, inning by inning, game by game. Watching the Crew is a 162-game journey of grit, hard work, talent, and determination. Dave Spanel from Annex Wealth Management. We're with you on your journey as well. Your hard work and money deserve a partner like Annex for your investment, retirement, tax, estate planning as a fee-only fiduciary. Take the next step towards retirement you desire and begin the conversation soon. Head to annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button.
Is back pain slowing you down? When it comes to spine care, you need specialized expertise. At the OAW Spine Center, their orthopedic care specialists provide the highest level of care for everything from herniated discs to spinal fusion. They start with the most conservative, non-surgical treatments like physical therapy and injections. If surgery is needed, minimally invasive procedures at the OAW Spine Center will get you back on your feet faster. With a focus on treating the source of the problem, they take a comprehensive, active approach to spine health, getting you back to the life you love. The OAW Spine Center. There is a difference. Visit OAWSpineCenter.com. That's OAWSpineCenter.com.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
Attention passengers, we've reached 10,000 feet and internet is now available for purchase.
I just paid hundreds for this flight, and you can't even throw in internet? I'll just take the free pretzels.
Sorry, but I do have snack boxes for sale.
I'm just gonna sleep.
In that case, we are selling pillows and blankets as well.
I'll just breathe. That's free, right?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, it's Alex Strofe. When it's game day, every detail matters, from the perfect seat on the couch to the perfect spread on the table. For over 125 years, Coops has been bringing incredible flavor to the table with 14 bold mustard flavors that turn good food great and great food amazing. Whether it's brats, burgers, or pretzels at halftime, Coops isn't your ordinary mustard. It's extraordinary mustard. So this football season, bring the bold, bring the flavor, bring Coops. Coops Mustard, spreading the love since 1897.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Yeah, away we go. Continuing on, Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. He is Gabe Neitzel with the baseball fidget toy in hand. He is the three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde. I'm Alex Strofe, hanging out with you.
What does a four-seamer look like?
So it's only two fingers?
I don't understand. Is that like the regular fastball that we learned?
Yeah, that's just a four-seam fastball. It's gonna be the straightest fastball that you throw, two-seam. You know, it's going to be on the horseshoe, probably get a little run out of it.
Oh, so it's about where you put the fingers.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah,
okay, circle change.
You know,
right.
so you
I used to throw my curveball, which could be hit for miles. I learned this on the baseball
You might want to get to YouTube as we talk about this.
Yeah, knuckle curve. Yep.
Were you a good pitcher growing up?
No,
never.
I did not really. After Little League, I didn't pitch much. I was catching a lot. So
hey, another catcher, you, me, and Will.
I'm the only non-catcher. A part of the show
I caught up until high school.
Too tall and lanky.
And then you were center field.
Then I played outfield. Yeah, because we had a pretty good catcher who went on and played at Whitewater. By the time I got to high school, he was a year older than me. So he was the catcher. I got moved outfield.
I was more like the catcher in the Sandlot. Bigger guy, put back there, block the ball. All right.
Will, how would you describe yourself?
Hurry up.
Catcher? Will,
I got to get home in time for lunch.
Defensive specialist. Couldn't hit.
Okay. Defensive specialist. Couldn't hit.
All glove, no hit, huh? Interesting. I can hit a little bit.
Could you? How long did you play?
I wasn't a five-tool player.
All right, we're done here. We're done here. All right, let's talk Packers-Bengals.
I never got to answer the question.
What should the concern level be for the Packers defense after a 38-point performance in Dallas?
Yeah, I don't think it should be high. I mean, one of the things that, and I thought this was a very fair thing for Jeff Hafley to say, they really had a bad half, right? Like the end of the first half, in fairness, they did allow a 95-yard drive for their first touchdown.
Yep.
And then there's the turnover and a touchdown on the next play, so suddenly now they go into halftime down 16-13. But their second half, they were bad. I mean, there's no sugarcoating it. They allowed things to snowball. Like everything that they are about, they weren't. They didn't rally to the ball. They didn't tackle surely. They didn't force a turnover. Like, they did nothing right. Is that an aberration? I tend to say yes.
Well, because you have 4 games.
Right.
3 of them, the defense was fantastic. And the things you talked about, rally to the football, tackling was sound. It was all of those things in the first 3 games versus it was over the course of 1 and a little bit more than a half.
So something we spent a lot of time on at our annual State of the Packers show the last weekend of Summerfest.
I remember that.
Was the cornerback room. Him, being Gabe Neitzel, he was like, I'm not really that worried about it. You and I, on the other hand, were kind of more like, we might be a little worried about it. That was the case in Dallas.
I would have drafted one, I thought. I mean, the draft board falls the way the draft board does.
Yeah, you're not counting Micah Robinson from Tulane.
Not in the 7th round, no. I thought they would do something a little earlier than that. They didn't. Again, maybe there were guys they liked that went off the board right before they picked. But they do lack a certain level of depth. Now, they are really excited about the jump that Javon Bullard has made, which is really valuable to their nickel because then you can play Nate Hobbs outside. When Nate Hobbs leaves with a concussion or he's in and out of the lineup like he's been, you can put Carrington Valentine out there. You don't necessarily have to worry about, we're not covered in the slot now. In fact, I think when all those guys are healthy, they want Javon Bullard to be the slot guy more than they want either the other two guys who have experience there. That said,
how much of the Hobbs struggles are because of the knee injury? He missed time in training camp, and now he's got to come because – he was known as this physical guy, and again, very limited action that he's seen because of the injury. I haven't seen that physicality.
Yeah, that is a major part of him not being productive or on the field or physical, but at the same time, part of his game is also his detriment, right? He's physical in practices. He starts a fight being physical one day, and then a couple days later, he injures himself in a collision that shouldn't have occurred. Tausch teases me all the time about how I went and watched 3 games of him, but that's what stands out about him is that he plays a physical style. No one said, oh, my God, they're getting a shutdown corner. Mm-hmm. They're getting a guy who primarily played he wasn't even really a starter.
No, he was their slot guy out in Vegas last year, but that was the thing that also Brian Gutekunst noted. Hey, he's a little bit more of a physical player. This is the type of defense we want to be. This is the type of defense we want to play, and that's why we went out and signed this guy.
And look, Carrington Valentine had a very rough second half against the Cowboys.
And he wasn't on the field much in the first half.
Correct. He goes in because of the concussion and does not play well. That's a fair criticism. I still am more of a believer than a doubter when it comes to him.
Yep.
But that performance gave you reason to doubt. So they need him to play at a higher level. Look, today, I'm fascinated by today. The moment that news broke on Tuesday, which is the off day at Lambeau, and I'm at home with the cats and the dogs, and the girls are at school, and
the zoo.
Paula, and I was like, I audibly said, holy blank, and it was only me and the animals because everybody was gone. But because that changes everything. And I'm not saying that Joe Flacco waltzes in and he's the second coming of prime Aaron Rodgers. I'm not saying that. But they needed a guy who could get the ball to their 2 stud receivers without turning it over all the time. And now they have a guy that at least has and what I don't understand about, and we've got a bunch of Bengals fans here that are taking in the Thunder Trio. What I don't understand is what happened to Jake Browning? Because the last time Burrow was hurt, he played really well.
He played very well.
And now, not so much.
Yeah.
That they go out and trade for, a 58-year-old starting quarterback.
There's only so many times you could turn the ball over, I think, when it comes to Jake Browning.
Right.
And they couldn't deal with those turnovers. And you're hoping that they're going to be able to try to get some of those turnovers, even though it's a different quarterback out there.
I love Evan Williams. Man, I was really looking forward to playing him.
I love the honesty. For all that offseason talk about ball king and turnovers, this team has not provided through 4 weeks.
Yeah, and that's
Jake Browning would have helped.
And that's my point about the emphasis, right? Look, all teams, this is not some sort of groundbreaking thing. Oh, we want to force more turnovers. But when you go to the length of installing lights and sirens in your meeting room to emphasize it, that is over the top. And you would expect that to pay, for that to come to fruition. And that is not to this point.
No, it really hasn't. But I'm still curious to see how those corners approach where they're lined up because, again, it was Joe Barry-esque the way that some of those corners were lined up in those situations, just giving away free first downs. And I understand being scared of the speed that George Pickens possesses, and I guess to an extent Cavante Turpin, because they were also somehow terrified of him.
Imagine what they would have done if CeeDee Lamb had been healthy.
Right? But these two guys, they've got size, they've got speed, they're more complete packages than any of the two receivers outside of CeeDee Lamb that the Packers actually had to play in Dallas. Okay, so how are you going to line up? What are you going to do on the outside? Are you going to give away those free completions underneath because you're scared of the speed? Or are you going to come up and be a little bit more physical and be in their face?
And let's not lose sight of the fact that one of the ways they get Jamar Chase the ball is they're not going over the top all the time to Jamar Chase. They're getting the ball out on bubble screens and stuff and getting him the ball in his hands.
Yep.
And then he turns into kind of a running back. Like, again, I didn't go through all of their games, but when they had a quarterback who could effectively get him the football, it was boom, and then he has the opportunity to make plays. So you not only have to worry about them beating you over the top, you have to make sure that sure tackling comes into play when they get him the ball quickly right off the snap.
Yeah, that's the most interesting thing I'm looking forward to on this defense is what lessons were learned, because as much as we talk about, and some players talk to you, Jason, about, maybe the undefeated talk, maybe reading too many of the press clippings about how great and star-spangled awesome this defense is after 2 weeks, and I know Xavier McKinney was a little upset by that, but also, like, what happened to Jeff Hafley? Because there were a lot of headlines about Jeff Hafley being this next head coach in the NFL, and then they do what they did in the second half with seemingly not a lot of adjustments coming from Hafley's headset.
Maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah, I know you'd like to keep him as a
No, not if that's what they do. If that's the product they put out on the field.
At least they didn't lose.
Yeah, I am happy to admit when I'm wrong, and if it turns out that I'm wrong about this, I will be happy to come on this program. I'll even sit instead of stand. But the fact of the matter is I think that's an aberration. We're going to find out today, though, because there is going to be, even with where Joe Flacco is in his career,
it's still a good test.
It's still a good test. Exactly.
That was just the shocking thing to me. As good as he has been, and Hafley's been fantastic.
And how good he's been at adjusting in game.
Correct. And all the different looks and different things that they do is just, nope, this is what we do. Here's how we're going to try to attack this. And just banging your head against the wall for an entire half. That was maybe the most shocking thing about that performance defensively, is that Hafley did seemingly nothing to try to stop it.
Well, and I asked him, and I used this for the lead of my story today, him and Ryan Downard are up top in the booth together, and I said, are you looking down going, who are these guys? Like, this is not who we are. And he said, no, I was working on finding solutions, and I didn't want to sarcastically reply, but I was like, did you ever find any? Right? Because
or are you
he never
still looking?
Did. Right. So it'll be interesting
looking
to see if with 2 weeks they found him.
Some halftime scores in the NFL. The Colts in front of the Cardinals 14-10. The Dolphins lead the Chargers. 13-9 at halftime in that one. Drake May has 3 touchdown passes at halftime. 22-16, the Patriots lead the Saints. Halftime in Pittsburgh, Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers leading the Browns. No touchdowns in that game, 9-3. Cowboys on top of the Panthers, 17-13. In Jacksonville, it's all Seahawks, 13-6. Not all Seahawks, I guess.
It's a 7-point game.
Might be a little dramatic by me. And then a tie game in Baltimore, 3-3 at the half between the Rams and the Ravens. And by the way, that game from earlier this morning, in where were they today? London?
They were in London.
Not a scoregami, but only the third time it's ever happened. 13-11.
Jesse Nelson?
I love scoregami.
You two are like kindred spirits on the scoregami.
I'm going to punch you.
Well, that's not very nice.
Point out a fact?
The Jets are 0-6, 13-11.
Did they get a takeaway at any point? Because they still hadn't had one
I'm not
through
sure,
5 games.
but they had negative passing yards as a team.
They're
45 passing yards and same number of sacks and completions. Justin Fields, 9 sacks.
They did
sacked
get
9 times.
They did get a fumble recovery. Troy Franklin fumbled and lost
Congratulations to them.
Happy for them at 0-6, and Aaron Glenn, their head coach. Hey, being good is right, isn't it? It's even better on Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use my code GKB. Good kick, Brandon, although he might not kick today.
I think it's good to be right.
What did I say?
Being good is right, I think you said. Again, this is the second time we've had a debate about something you said.
Check the tape. It's good to be right.
There
you go.
Let's just start over. It's good to be right, especially on Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use my code GKB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineups. Line up, rather. That's code.
Do you want me to do this for you?
Code GKB. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good
to be right.
Well done, Jason Wilde. Gabe Neitzel, Alex Strofe with you on Green Bay Game Day. It's also good to say yes or no.
Maybe.
Which we play coming up next on Green Bay Game Day.
We're back with Green Bay Game Day after this on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
It's a bird bash at Potawatomi. Thursdays, you could win up to $50,000 cash in the Bird Bash game show. Just play with your rewards card this October for a chance to win. Wouldn't you like to rake in a huge pile of cash? Bird Bash, only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info at potawatomi.com/birdbash. Must be 21 years old to play.
Your path to a degree should fit your life, not the other way around. At Lakeland University, you can personalize every part of your college experience. With a main campus in Sheboygan, evening classes across the state, and flexible online options, you choose how and when you learn. Just graduated high school, changing careers, juggling work and life, they've got options for you. You can even earn credit for experience you already have or for the work you're doing now, saving time and money. Start customizing your future today at lakeland.edu/ESPN. Lakeland University. Experience it your way.
For your fellow fanatics and your number one fans. For your game day compatriots and your everyday companions. For your personal cheerleaders and your personal heroes. For the reasons you smile, get covered with dental and vision insurance from Delta Dental of Wisconsin and Delta Vision. Learn more at deltadentalwi.com today.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Carl Walls. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free, no interest for 3 whole years. Restrictions apply. Call 414-410-2000. And like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Neck and back surgeries can be risky. Your spine deserves the best. Professional athletes trust Neurospine Center of Wisconsin, including baseball, where surgeon Dr. Brandon Rebels helped get Milwaukee's MVP back on the field for a stellar season. We can help you too, with the top nationally rated spine surgeons in the state for quality outcomes. You can trust the professionals at Neurospine Center of Wisconsin. Get a second opinion in just a few clicks. Now offered virtually throughout Wisconsin. Visit nscwi.com. Neurospine Center of Wisconsin. Your spine health is our passion.
Make the best seat in the house yours. Carbless delivers the handcrafted cocktail experience right to your living room. Bold flavor, no carbs, no sugar, just 100 calories, and all the taste with none of the extra baggage. From kickoff to the final play, Carbless is your game day go-to. Hosting friends, watching with family, or celebrating every big drive, Carbless keeps the good times pouring. So when the game's on the line, make the winning call. Skip the mixing, grab the bliss, and make every seat the best seat in the house. Find Carbless near you at drinkcarbless.com.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Lazaga for Comfort Awnings. I reclaim my outdoor space by having Comfort Awnings install a motorized retractable awning so I can enjoy the sun and get relief when I need it. Sensors are also available that detect strong winds and rain to extend or retract your awning. They even protect against UV radiation so you can safely enjoy the outdoors. Family owned and located in Burlington, Comfort Awnings expertly installs custom awnings that fit your home and style. Right now, you can receive a free motor for your automated awning with your order. Call 414-Awnings or visit comfortawnings.com.
When severe weather hits and the power goes out, do you have a plan? For reliable power and peace of mind, propane can do that. It only takes about 10 seconds for a propane-powered generator to restore power to your home. So no matter what Mother Nature has in store, you know you're prepared. Learn more at wipga.org. This message is sponsored by your local propane provider and the Wisconsin Propane Education and Research Council.
Welcome back to Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Hey, being good is right, isn't it? Oh, no. Being good is right. Hey, being good is right, isn't it?
It is.
Will, that was unnecessary.
No, it was totally necessary.
Green Bay Game Day presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
Look, it's completely understandable. Yesterday was a huge day.
I'm tired.
Yeah, you're a little tired. Had to drive all the way up here after a big emotional win for the Brew Crew last night. So, yeah, some mistakes are going to be happening over the course of 3-hour Green Bay Game
But I
Day.
like to think I'm better than that.
But you're not.
Well, I hate to break it to you. The audio evidence says you're not.
Hey, being good is right, isn't it?
By the way, it is right to be good. That's the right thing. Be good, take care. Be good.
That is a directive you got.
There you go.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Okay.
All right, It's also good to be hemming, hawing, and hedging when you play yes or no.
Will today be the day there are black and white answers from our most respected journalist?
Possibly. I think we shouldn't be greedy. Maybe. You would certainly hope so.
It's time for Yes or No with Jason Wilde.
Yes or no time with Jason Wilde here on Green Bay Game Day. Alex Striff, Jason Wilde, Gabe Neitzel with you at the Tundra Trio just outside of Lambeau Field. Let's start here. Yes or no? Rashawn Gary has a sack today.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You would think that you look at what he did. Oh, thanks. You look at what he did the first 3 weeks, and you're like, yes. You look at the fact that he was a total non-factor. You can't have this. I'm holding it now. Sounded a little bit of a parrot there, didn't I? Mm-hmm. This is mine. But I don't understand. Like, one of the things that's been great about him is the way he has taken advantage of Micah Parsons' presence. And the fact that he was a non-factor in that game. Now, Dak Prescott got the ball out quick. Fine. That's great. They did not bust, despite having, I think, 2 missing offensive linemen. They didn't bust the protection like Cleveland did on one of his sacks when no one blocked him. So maybe that's part of it. But, look, if they're going to be successful today, the answer needs to be yes. He will. But I don't know.
That's the most of an answer I've ever gotten from you.
No, I've been closer before.
I feel that he's just one of those interesting guys where I over 7 years, I haven't been able to get a feel for him in terms of the player he is on the field.
I agree.
Because
that I agree with. Yes.
You take a look at what he did the year he had 9 sacks, and he had 3 sacks in 3 different games and didn't have one after Thanksgiving and couldn't get to the double-digit sacks. It's like, okay, that's interesting. And then he has the ACL injury. He plays better early than he does late. And there are times where he just absolutely disappears. You were hoping because, yes, he had the sack against Cleveland where nobody blocked him, but he also had some sacks in the first 2 games inside Lambeau Field where he was beating guys, and he just looked like, oh, man, this guy's getting one-on-ones all the time. He is going to eat. And he had plenty of one-on-one opportunities against the banged-up offensive line and was stonewalled and didn't even get close to sniffing anything. I understand Dak was getting it out quickly, but Micah was still getting pressure despite being double-teamed at times.
Good
so
point.
the fact that you got no pressures out of Rashawn, this might be the only player I can say 7 years in I just don't have a feel for.
And that's the difference between a true field-tilting player and us, myself included, wanting him to be that guy. They're drafted in the same spot in different drafts. Like he hasn't been a colossal disappointment, but if he needs a running mate of that caliber, then when he has one, there has to be more production than what they get.
Yeah, my biggest issue with Rashawn over the years is they think, and the Packers have treated him as an A player.
Correct.
They paid him as an A player.
Yes, they did.
He might be a B player because of the things we just discussed.
All right, this next one, I think you have to give me a yes or no. You're going to find a way around it, but I think you have to.
I don't think you
have
to do
I
anything.
was about to say, first of all, Jason doesn't have to do anything. Second of all,
whose team are you on?
His.
Oh.
I thought that was obvious.
It wasn't, actually. So you've done a good job.
Appreciate that.
All right, yes or no, the Packers will have their ideal starting 5 offensive linemen today.
How is that possibly a question that I'm definitely going? If you ask that question at 156, I would have had no choice but to answer it yes or no, because then we'd have the inactive list.
But we are under the impression Aaron Banks is playing. We are under the impression Zach Thomas is playing. We are under the impression Rasheed Walker is playing. Yes?
Potentially.
I can't win.
But you definitely can't. It's good to be right, though. He walked off camera. That's awesome. Don't let him back in now. Look, they're hoping that all three of them are available. But let's take, for example, we were all in our respective places with sunshiny faces at the time. But think back to that edition of this program on the day they played Cleveland. We were all flabbergasted, stunned when, Zach Tom is active? And he lasted one play. One. And by the way, neither he nor Aaron Banks has finished a game yet. They've missed 2 and they've left 2 with injuries. So to answer your question, they could start the day that way, maybe. Right. But again, look, Rasheed Walker didn't practice on Thursday. It's a quadriceps for him. I don't know the severity. He declined to speak to reporters in the locker room.
That's a good.
On the other hand, Zach Tom was very optimistic.
Hold on, timeout real quick. Was his decline of speaking with you?
I think it was injury related because he's talked to me since the
17
undefeated thing.
Okay, got it.
So the fact that he did, to me, that makes me a little leery, right? Because if he's going, doesn't he just say, "Yeah, I'm gonna be fine. Like I'll work. I'll figure out a way to get through it." But that's not. He didn't want to talk at all. And Aaron Banks said this weird thing about how I'm making the most of the reps that I'm getting in practice. Well, if you're a starter,
that's good.
If you're a starter, you're supposed to be getting a lot of the reps. So does that mean that they're out there splitting reps with the ones in practice, or he's getting scout team reps as he works back? I failed to follow up on that. Someone else jumped in with a different question. But, are they sharing reps between him and Jordan Morgan so he's more prepared if he has to play? I don't know.
That would be my assumption, but you could go the other way. Again, it could go any way I guess you want to without him answering that question directly. I guess that's what I would hope, that if he's splitting reps, it is in, hey, you're a veteran. We know you don't need all the reps, so we're going to give some to somebody who needs reps at this position.
They're not going to rotate him.
No.
You're not going to take your $77 million guard and rotate him.
Right.
So of all the questions you could have chosen where you could have predicted that I would be tied into a yes or no answer, that could have been the least one.
I mean, this free agent class just can't match what the previous free agent class did.
That's a high bar.
But I mean, what do they have to do to even just be considered a successful free agent class? Because right now, you can't.
It ain't good.
It
ain't good.
Yeah, Demovsky told us when they signed Aaron Banks that everything he had heard was not positive. Now, he talks to a lot of people throughout the league more than I do, but so far, those people that talked to Rob were right. Now, whether or not they are going to eventually someday be right about Zach Tom being a Hall of Fame center, we'll have to wait and see.
Fair point.
You'd have to play there first.
There might be an opening next year.
I think there will be.
Last one for you, fellas. Yes or no? You are confident that the running game is back for the Green Bay Packers?
I don't know if I am or not, but I think Josh Jacobs is encouraged and confident. He kept saying it takes 3 to 4 games. And so I said to him this week, well, it looks to me like it takes 3.5 games, right? Because both he and Emmanuel Wilson,
who was awesome in that Dallas
but
game,
not in the first half. Neither one of them were.
Sure.
They're both averaging 2 yards a carry. And then something clicked, and I said, did you discover something there? Or is it, team-specific, whatever else? And his feeling was that they finally kind of clicked in with the offensive line. Now, again, we just got done talking about we don't know exactly who's going to be out there. But he also pointed out the fact that the way the Cowboys defend the run, they do a lot of slashing, a lot of angles, and they took advantage of that. We'll see if they can do that today.
Is a big part of that Elton Jenkins hasn't been good as we thought he would be at center?
He definitely has not. And look, again, I don't have to say that. Elton Jenkins said that. He used the word that I can't say right here. So when the linchpin of your offensive line is viewing his performance that way, that's also a factor in why they haven't been better.
Our guy Emmanuel Wilson played really well in the second half against Dallas.
I mean, our guy Emmanuel Wilson's played well all year.
Look, our guy Emmanuel Wilson, I don't know why we're doing that.
Well, there's a backstory there. I could tell it if you'd like.
It's good to be right. Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
Now 2 years ago, playoff game against the San Francisco 49ers. We were doing a watch-along. Gabe, myself, and Joshy on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee.
Okay.
And I was yelling, why is Emmanuel Wilson in the game? Where is Aaron Jones? And I believed he didn't belong on the field, despite he ended up actually having a very good play and has turned into a very nice complimentary back.
Guy averaged 5 yards a carry last year.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago.
Right, I know. What I'm saying is I'm emphasizing your point. Very defensive about this thing.
I'm always
defensive. Well, because he doesn't have an eye for talent. It's fine.
Last year,
that was rude. That was rude.
Just saying.
I didn't disagree. He was productive last year, too, and so it's not a surprise that he's played. Now, again, he hadn't been productive until the second half on 2 weeks ago either. So we'll see what their running game is able to do.
All right, there's your edition of Yes or No with the great Jason Wilde, who's very snippy today. And Gabe Neitzel not being very kind to me either. That's okay.
Maybe
we're having
it's
fun
you.
Regardless. Hey, being good is right, isn't it?
What are you going to mess up this time?
We're out here at the Tundra Trio tailgate. Let me tell you, our partners and fans are sipping on some incredible cocktails right now. I'm a little jealous. That is thanks to V Private Bar Services, the go-to team behind our bar hospitality. They bring the flavor, the flair, and the experience that takes our game day to the next level. Raise the bar for your next event and book V Private Bar Services today. We get our injury report, which is presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, and some final thoughts ahead of Packers-Bengals with our buddy Jason Wilde right after this on Green Bay Game Day.
We're back with Green Bay Game Day after this on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Is back pain slowing you down? The OAW Spine Center offers specialized care with advanced treatments for herniated discs, spinal fusion, and more. Their board-certified orthopedic care specialists use the least invasive methods, starting with non-surgical options. If surgery is needed, they provide minimally invasive procedures. The OAW Spine Specialists focus on getting you back to an active lifestyle faster. The OAW Spine Center. There is a difference. Visit OAWSpineCenter.com.
Now's the time to plan your total experience getaway to the Island Resort and Casino. With over 450 hotel rooms and a luxurious spa, relax in style before diving into non-stop casino action. Watch your favorite teams on the big screens and enjoy great food and drinks at T. McSee Sports Bar, or savor top-tier dining at Horizon Steakhouse. Then amp up your night with live music and comedy. Head to where the big game, big wins, and big fun come together. The Island Resort and Casino.
For over 40 years, the Boucher Automotive Group is proud to have served Wisconsin with dedication and heart, one customer at a time. But we knew we could do even more.
In the last 5 years, we've expanded across the state, adding new locations, new brands, and new ways to better serve you.
At Boucher, growth isn't always about being bigger. It's about being better. Better selection, better service, better experiences.
Where you're going matters, and Boucher is driven to get you there. The Boucher Automotive Group. We ride with you every mile.
Ready for the snap, and a timeout taken. The team looks a little bit lost. Let's bring in Gina Della from Pella. What's the winning game plan this month?
Wayne, the winning play is simple. A whole house of new windows as low as $297 a month with 0% interest for up to 60 months.
Wow, that's a drive you can sustain for years. No penalties, no interest. A championship move from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
No doubt, Wayne. And unlike the opponent's defense, Pella Windows actually stopped the drafts.
The draft picks we gave up for number one had to be the steal of the century.
True, but I'm talking about replacing all drafty windows.
Roger that. With energy-efficient windows that keep the cold out, you'll stay as toasty as a fan at a warm weather preseason game.
Pay as low as $297 a month for a whole house of new Pella windows.
Plus, with 0% interest for up to 60 months, don't sit on the sidelines, folks. Make your move today.
Schedule your free consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. 10/31/2025.
Turn your driveway into the basketball court of your dreams with Precision Sports, Southeastern Wisconsin's dealer for Mega Slam, Ironclad, and Dominator hoop systems. From installation to customizable painted court lines, Precision Sports is a slam dunk. PrecisionSportsOnline.com.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
The NBA season is officially here, and we're going hard from start to finish. Every player is showing out. All 30 teams are locking in. To win it all in this league, fans and players need to give everything. All season long. The American Express NBA tip-off begins October 21st on ESPN, NBC, Peacock, and Prime.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just for you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Green Bay Game Day is presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. He is Gabe Knights. I'm Alex Strofe. One final rodeo this week with our buddy Jason Wilde, the three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year from Wilde and Tausch, is with us before he heads into Lambeau Field. A beautiful October day here in Green Bay. This weather is the best. I hope it's always this way. That's all I have to say about that. It is time now to look at
That's all I have to say. What are you, Forrest Gump? You don't even get that reference.
Yes, I do. I've actually seen that movie several times.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. All
one
right.
of the few movies I've seen.
This radio show's like a box of chocolates.
Sure is.
You never know what you're going to get.
And today's injury report is presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a
Is that
difference.
time already?
Visit orthowisconsin.com
Wow.
today for info.
Get your thesaurus out.
McManus is down?
McManus is down.
So that is fascinating.
It is, but that's why you sign a kicker like Lucas Haversick, who they signed yesterday. Kind of flew under the radar.
I mean, there were some important things going on at like 4 or 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon.
6'7", too.
The only other inactive that's really worth noting is defensive lineman Devontae Wyatt. That was expected, as
But
was
he was already ruled out.
Yeah. Anthony Belton, same thing.
Poor Kamal Haddon, he's the only healthy scratch.
Which he has been, I believe, every game this season.
Yeah.
So Brandon McManus
No, he played in one.
Will not be kicking today.
He will not be. Lucas Haversick.
So do you think it's just that the leg injury never got better the way it did? Because McManus had talked about, and again, I think any sort of perceived disconnect between McManus and LaFleur can easily be explained by the injury happened Wednesday at practice. LaFleur talked Thursday. Didn't talk after practice, talking before practice,
right.
And then McManus talked after practice on Thursday where he's like, well, no, here's really what's going on. Here's how I feel.
Except then on Friday, LaFleur got in his zinger about I need to bring my thesaurus. And as you both know, I mean, not when I make fun of you, because I love you, like the son I never had. Because I'm old enough, as I established listening to Sunday Karma today, to be your father. Every joke sometimes has a little bit of truth. And the fact that LaFleur made that wisecrack, and it wasn't like a yuck it up kind of way he said it, like, and then he went on to explain why it kind of, for lack of a better term, ticked him off. You know, he's like, well, that's great that you've been through this before. We haven't, is what LaFleur said. And look, that is a major concern for us. And now, lo and behold, the guy's
playing.
inactive today. Now, you know, the way he was, and look, we all have been at this long enough to know that players always think they're going to play. Even when they have no like Zach Tom, for example. but the way he was so dismissive with us on Thursday, saying, look, I've been through this before. And look, I went back and looked at that game. You know, the guy makes 2 50-yarders and attempts a 63-yarder at the end of the game.
Yeah.
So obviously, he felt like he was good enough to try something that puts a lot of pressure on your leg. I am curious whether or not, because also one of the things that Rich Bisaccia said was that it puts a lot of strain on a different, leg muscle group and your groin specifically as a punter if you are kicking off or kicking field goals. And I found myself wondering if there was a component to this of, look, the one thing we don't want is to mess up our punter who's been really good this year.
Well, and especially when you have extra roster spots.
Right.
It's not like you had to cut somebody in order to put Lucas Havrisik on the roster. So I feel that kind of helps that situation, Jason. But also, Rob Demovsky told us earlier that Havrisik's people were told, hey, you're being signed in case of emergency. So I wonder if he tried to test it out today, if McManus tried to test it out today, and ultimately, we can't go with this.
That'll be a question for LaFleur after the game, or maybe, I don't know, maybe when he does his little brief sideline interview with TV, he'll mention something. But the bottom line is that has been a reliable piece, the kicking piece of that. The protection piece, not that reliable. But now you got a guy who came in for a tryout on Friday, and now he's going to be kicking in a game that counts.
Yeah, interesting. We will see.
And has been out of the league since 23, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there an opportunity they just, no pun intended, punt on extra points?
I doubt that. Again, points.
But they might be more aggressive on fourth down.
They might be more. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Territory.
See? Very good.
Yeah, don't ask him to kick a 55-yard field goal, but
got it.
Right.
If you can't rely on him to kick an extra point,
sure, but
there are other kickers you can assign.
Years, but yeah, you're right about that.
And
extra point's an extra point.
I mean, look, the bottom line here.
Yeah, they've been blocked. I don't know.
I think we're missing the most important thing here. They had a chance to bring in Greg Joseph, so Greg Joseph could tell us that Greg Joseph has to focus on Greg Joseph.
Joseph was
feels like a missed opportunity.
Greg Joseph was great today.
Jimmy made the shot.
Greg Joseph is competing against Greg
Jimmy's
Joseph.
down.
All right, Jason. Appreciate the time as always, brother. We'll be listening to you on postgame. We'll be listening to you tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock on Will Be in
you're
Touch.
more than welcome to hang out longer. Do whatever you want.
I'm going to go eat.
Okay, that's
Buck
fair.
and Honey's, so
Good
I'm not going to miss a chance to eat.
Good for that mac and cheese.
So there's
Have
a
you had
guy
some?
here in a Tauscher jersey.
Yeah, that's my middle school basketball coach.
And Mark Tauscher is here.
Yes, I told him he would be here. I don't know if he's introduced himself yet, but I will go make the connect if that hasn't
here's
happened
the
yet.
question that I have.
Yes.
Because, you're meeting a guy that you obviously admired.
Yeah.
Is it like for me, it would be Robin Yount, right?
Sure. Who you have met.
I have met multiple times, interviewed. He's been on the show. I have his phone number, which 10-year-old Jason would have been apoplectic to know that.
Yeah.
That's not a humble brag. That's just he did text me back when we tried to get him on the show. He was in Italy for his birthday. But what I find amazing about that is, if I had to meet him, again, I don't know if I'd have the gumption to wear my Brewers 19 Mitchell and Ness jersey. So I'm intrigued. Is that good form or poor form on behalf of your basketball coach?
I don't know, but I guess we can ask that question because I know both parties.
I smell a topic.
But also, I can't imagine that he wore the Tausch jersey here knowing he was going to meet Tausch.
He did not know Tausch was going to be here.
Yeah,
he did not.
He's just going to go to the game. It's the Packer jersey he happens to have.
So then the next follow-up is, if he'd have known he was going to meet Tausch, would he have gone with a different jersey?
Okay, I think you should go talk to him, and then you can get some background on my athletic career.
Oh, I definitely don't want that.
I think I was his favorite player ever, so you can ask him that.
It's because you guys sat together on the bench?
No. That was rude. It's rude.
That's good.
It's very rude.
I love you. I'm sorry. That was totally unfair.
Hey, man, Edison Middle School's finest right here. Green Bay Edison Middle School's finest right here.
I will have to swing by next time I'm in the neighborhood and see the placard on the wall about your accomplishments.
Edison Eagles' all-time leading technical foul.
You got a technical foul as a middle schooler?
Multiple of them. For being too loud on defense, I would yell, ball, 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 ball. Yeah, he'll tell you that story. It's one of his favorite stories.
I'm definitely not going over there now.
Okay, that's fair. All right, we talk about our heroes of the game. We'll do the network health. I Need a Hero coming up next in the 2 o'clock hour, hour 3 of Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, right after this.
Stay right here. Green Bay Game Day will be right back on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Hey, it's ESPN Wisconsin's Alex Strofe. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. Don't miss a second of the excitement this football season. Prize Picks makes it fun to test your takes. Prize Picks is the best way to turn your knowledge right into cash. Which players are going off, which are overhyped. Make your picks in under 60 seconds and see your lineups in action this weekend. I've been playing every week. It's simple and exciting. I recently made lineups with Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, and Josh Allen, and watching those projections hit is a blast. Just pick more or less on at least 2 stats and hit submit. Prize Picks even gives you options. Flex play pays even if 1 pick misses, or power play for the biggest payout. Stack a player multiple times, follow friends or celebrities, and check every lineup in the feed tab. Fast, secure deposits and withdrawals make it easy too. Download the Prize Picks app today and use my code GKB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code GKB to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Yeah, it is.
Hey, it's your friend John McGivern. In a world full of chaos, I'm grateful for a health plan that has my back. Network Health is so reliable and trustworthy, they always put me and over 126,000 members first. It's just what they do and what they've always done for over 41 years. Call 833-7-NETWORK today. HMO and POS plans underwritten by Network Health Plan. Compensation has been provided for using this endorsement of Network Health.
Oh no, there's only seltzer left, and it's passionberry almond fruit? Who comes up with these? Kick the aluminum can to the curb and mix up a cocktail you actually want with Tito's. It tastes great, it's gluten-free, and it's available in a variety of sizes for your convenience. The flavor abilities are endless. Tito's Handmade Vodka, the official spirit of whatever you want to drink. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Progressive knows owning a home can be hard, but not always. Like when you're relaxing on your patio, enjoying a nice, quiet evening. So quiet. Except for the sound of the neighbor's party. Which you said you'd go to if you weren't busy. And your quiet night on the patio, that's not exactly busy, is it? Maybe you should just stay inside. At least Progressive's Home Quote Explorer lets you easily compare rates, so shopping for insurance is the easiest part of owning a home. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Member Week is back at Lowe's with big savings for pros. Now through October 15th, My Lowe's Pro Rewards members get up to 40% off hundreds of items like paint, tools, building materials, and more. Plus, get free standard shipping. Shop these exclusive member-only savings before they're gone. Not a rewards member? Join for free today. Free standard shipping not available in Alaska and Hawaii. Exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune into Kyle, Brust, and Nortman from 2 to 5 every day. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. It's finally game day.
6, good protection, pass wide open, making the catch and getting into Washington territory. Tucker Kraft pulls his way down to the 20-yard line.
And the countdown to kickoff starts now.
What's the fake? Pass caught, touchdown, Green Bay, Romeo Dobbs.
This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Broadcasting live from the shadow of the south end zone at Lambeau Field. Alongside Gabe Neitzel, here is Alex Strofe.
Let's go, almost game time. Green Bay Game Day presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Alex Strofe, Gabe Neitzel with you live from the Tundra Trio just outside of Lambeau Field. ahead of Week 6 kickoff on a beautiful October afternoon. The sun has come out to play, Gabriel.
It is
beautiful out here.
Gorgeous outside right now. Like we joked with Steve Scaffiti when he joined us earlier because usually he likes to sit inside with his club seats that he has. I think he'd be sitting outside today and enjoying what is an absolute spectacular day. Should be great for football. Although I am looking at those flags, the ones that are in the parking lot.
Yeah.
There's a strange W flag out there in the parking lot that it's certainly a decision to waive.
And you're
that
not
one.
talking about the Wisconsin
I'm not
W.
talking about the Wisconsin one, which, again, I understand. Also an interesting decision to waive that one today. But I'm talking about the one right below it. That is the Cubs W flag. That was a decision to fly that. And also the ones on top of Lambeau. We know how the winds like to swirl inside Lambeau Field. And honestly, that's something I am now suddenly concerned about with having Lucas Havrasik as the kicker for the Packers. That is a concern. Again, extra points I'm fine with, but if you're asking him to kick a 40, 45-yard field goal, is he going to be able to navigate the swirling winds of Lambeau Field the way Brandon McManus has in his first now just about a year with the Green Bay Packers?
Yeah, I guess you're right. It has been a year now, hasn't it?
Right around this time.
Last year.
Last year.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. All right, it's time now to decide who our hero of the game will be. I Need a Hero is presented by Network Health. Network Health is honored to serve many veterans, and they're also proud to count veterans among their employees because they're based right here in Wisconsin. They are able to develop health plans specifically with their veterans in mind. Bonnie Tyler, talk to me. This is such a terrific song.
If you are in a bad mood, just turn this song on, and you cannot. You cannot be in a bad mood and listen to this song.
Several years ago, a fast food chain had gyros on their menu.
Yeah.
And they did an advertisement that ran for, it felt like forever.
Correct.
Where this song would play.
Yep, and then
Euro.
Yep.
Euro. It was always very funny. Anyway, you're a hero of the game, Gabe Heitzel. Off that side tangent. But Euros. I might be hungry.
I think it's a game where when you take a look at what this Bengals offense has done, they haven't done a ton running the football with Chase Brown. So they brought in Joe Flacco because they want to be able to throw the ball and get in the hands of Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and take some shots down the field. Yes, you want to get those quick passes off. But I think Keyshawn Nixon's going to get tested, and I think that the Bengals are going to regret going after Keyshawn Nixon. I think he is going to be one of the heroes of the game today for the Green Bay Packers. He has been spectacular on the outside for the green and gold, and I think that continues against what's going to be a pretty good test with those two wideouts for the Bengals.
Yeah, I love that there's a good test on the Packers defense after a disappointing performance in Dallas. And that is a really fun part of this game for me and a big storyline to keep an eye on in this game. So I love your pick on Keyshawn Nixon. You saying he elevates and delivers today back on their home field at Lambeau Field for the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to go on the other side of the ball, and I'm going to keep it nice and simple. Josh Jacobs is going to be my hero of the game. Still kind of waiting on that big-time full game for him here in 2025. Obviously, a really nice second half for him in Dallas. But I just want to see the Packers pound the freaking rock, man. And I feel like, Trey Hendrickson aside, this is a defense who can do that again and really boost his confidence. So I'm hoping to see a big Josh Jacobs game today here at Lambeau Field, and maybe our guy Emmanuel Wilson will be mixed in a little bit as well.
And I think that just ultimately opens up everything that we want the offense to be. They just haven't been able to consistently run the ball, and thankfully Jordan Love's been good enough to overcome it for the most part, but the offense still feels like, despite being statistically really good in a lot of areas, I guess the exciting part about that is it doesn't feel like it's been completely unlocked. And hopefully what he had talked about it being in sync with the offensive line, that's able to come to fruition. But now what's interesting about that, to me, Strofe, is he got in sync with the offensive line the second half of the Dallas game when they were missing offensive linemen.
Right.
And based on the injury report, they're going to have their preferred five available to them. Is he going to have that same type of cohesion and chemistry with that group that he did in the second half with the Cowboy group? Well,
the answer is no, just based on substitutions, but can there be a different level of cohesion and chemistry that the preferred five has not really had the opportunity to establish this season?
Yeah.
Right? Aaron Banks goes down in that opener against Detroit. I think Zach Tom did as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's when the oblique injury happened, was on the interception return for a touchdown that was obviously ultimately called back. When Jordan Love got laid out, that drew a penalty on the return, he kind of jumped to avoid Jordan, and that's when the injury happened.
Who is your hero of the game? Let us know on the Cardinals Talking text line, 800-990-3776, or on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee, at ESPN Madison. We'll review some of your responses later in the show for your hero of the game presented by Network Health. Gabe and I will continue to preview this one. It's the Packers and the Bengals, Week 6 action here at Lambeau Field, and it is just beautiful. I cannot understate or overstate how nice the weather is here in Green Bay for it being mid-October. Like, it should be like a chilly, breezy.
Honestly, I'm looking around. I'm looking at people like somebody's just carrying their jacket by their side. I saw somebody else with a sweatshirt around their way. Like, everybody was expecting it to be a little bit cooler for this game today. And now that sun is out, it's going to be an enjoyable one inside Lambeau.
For the most part, the clouds have cleared up, which is great. I mean, it's football weather, baby. So Packers-Bengals coming up at 3:25 this afternoon. We will continue to take a look at this one. And the Bengals offense, does that pose any threat you're concerned about against this Packers defense? We'll dive into that. Coming up next, it's Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
Green Bay Game Day after this on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
For every athlete, every fan. Whether you're suiting up your team or rallying your fan base, Alpha Custom Apparel brings fresh, affordable designs to the field, court, or stands. We outfit schools, clubs, leagues, and fans with gear that turns heads and builds pride. Need uniforms, spirit wear, or fan merch in a hurry? Our quick turnaround and unbeatable Midwest-based service means you'll be ready for game day in style. Quality designs, comfortable fits, local service you can trust. Create with us at alphacustomapparel.com.
I've been to my fair share of green and gold games, and the best way to get there is with Accutrans Group. At Good Karma Brands and ESPN Milwaukee, we use Accutrans Group to get our partners to and from Green Bay, and it's always first class. From stadiums to concerts and tailgates, your game day fun starts the moment you step on board. Sit back, relax, and let their professional chauffeurs handle the traffic while you enjoy the ride. Accutrans Group is Milwaukee's premier ground transportation, available 24/7 with sedans, SUVs, limos, vans, and buses. Book today at AccuTransGroup.com.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in, it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
At Heart of Canal Street, for over 30 years, our hearts have been set on making a difference for children in our community. Now through December 10th, we invite you to share your heart by playing the Canal Street Bingo game at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Every time you play this special bingo game, you're helping to raise funds for children's charities in southeastern Wisconsin. Learn more at potawatomi.com/heart.
When severe weather hits and the power goes out, do you have a plan? For reliable power and peace of mind, propane can do that. It only takes about 10 seconds for a propane-powered generator to restore power to your home. So no matter what Mother Nature has in store, you know you're prepared. Learn more at WIPGA.org. This message is sponsored by your local propane provider and the Wisconsin Propane Education and Research Council.
Sundays are for football and carbless. Born in Wisconsin, carbless handcrafted premium cocktails are packed with flavor, not sugar. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, just 100 calories, and gluten-free. Whether you're tailgating in Green Bay or calling the plays from your couch, carbless is the cocktail that's always game day ready. Crisp, clean, and crafted to win. This season, drink like a champion. Drink carbless, a proud partner of the Green Bay Packers.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Neal Group. You may have heard Congress pass the One Big Beautiful Bill, which President Trump campaigned on. Leaving the non-tax parts out, what does the new law mean for business? To be honest, less than you think. There are larger deductions for purchasing equipment and other fixed assets in the year of purchase. The Qualified Business Income Deduction, or QBID, is now a permanent deduction for partnerships and S corporations. Remember the 1099-K back and forth? The minimum amount for issuing 1099-Ks, which are typically from credit card companies or e-commerce sites like Amazon or Shopify, will now be $20,000. Call us now for a free consultation to see how you may be affected by the new law. Call 414 414-325-2040 now. You earned it. We help you keep it. That's 414-325-2040 or nealgroup.net.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Green Bay Game Day presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Alex Stroff, Gabe Neitzel with you live from the Tundra Trio just outside of Lambeau Field here in beautiful Green Bay. At a Packers-Bengals, these two teams will lock horns in a Week 6 NFL matchup. And it's something we talked about a little bit with Wilde, Gabe, but it seems every time these two teams meet, something weird happens. And maybe that's the case today with Brandon McManus being out of it and Lucas Havrasik getting the call as the Packers kicker here in Week 6. I don't know. I can't predict what the weird thing will be, but it seems something weird always happens when these two teams.
Yeah, I'm hoping that trend ends.
Yeah, fair.
You know,
make it nice and easy, 34-0, voila, goodbye.
Yeah, I mean, just make it a nice, easy game today because chances are if something weird happens, it's not going to be good for the Packers. Like, in order for something weird to happen, it's only benefiting the Bengals because the Packers are the superior team here, right? So anything the Packers do, you're not going to find out of the ordinary. If the Bengals and weird things start happening, that only uglies up the game and gives the Bengals a better opportunity to potentially pull off an upset here with Joe Flacco now as their starting quarterback.
Some scores in the NFL as these games enter the fourth quarter. The Cardinals are leading the Colts on the road in Indianapolis, 24-17. Jacoby Brissett, who's got the start over the injured Kyler Murray today, 218 yards, 2 touchdowns for him as the Cardinals hang on to a 7-point lead in that one beginning of the fourth quarter. Beginning of the fourth quarter in Miami, Chargers have regained the lead, and it's a big one. 26-13, 13-point lead for the Chargers. 2 touchdown passes for Justin Herbert. And Kamani Vidal, the running back today, 14 carries, 121 yards for Vidal in his first real start for the Chargers this year.
Not surprised.
No.
What does a Jim Harbaugh team want to do?
Run the football.
They want to run the football. Doesn't matter who they got back there. They are going to find a way to run the football.
In New Orleans, the Patriots have a 9-point lead, 25-16, beginning of the fourth quarter. Drake May with 3 touchdown passes in that one. This one nearing the end of the third quarter. The Steelers, thanks to an Aaron Rodgers touchdown pass, have added on to their lead. It is 16-6 in that one between the Browns and the Steelers. Steelers looking to continue to lead the AFC North and advance to 4-1 with a win today. Cowboys-Panthers is really close beginning of the fourth quarter. Cowboys have a 4-point lead in that one despite Dak Prescott's best efforts. He has 3 touchdown passes. It's 24-10, and the Panthers have the football. Still anybody's game in Carolina. Doesn't seem to be the case in Jacksonville at the beginning of the fourth quarter. It's a 14-point Seahawks lead over the Jags. Seahawks 20, Jags 6 in that one.
Feels like a missed opportunity for Jacksonville to really establish themselves. Hey, we're not going anywhere. And look, if you lose a competitive game, a tight game to a Seahawks team that does have some talent on it, okay, I think you can excuse that. But this is kind of felt largely uncompetitive as the game has moved along. The Jags led early 6-0, 20 unanswered points here by the Seahawks, and they've just been in control.
Last one that is live right now is in Baltimore, and when you thought it was at its lowest, it just keeps getting lower for the Ravens at 1-4. They are down 14, 17-3, and they have just benched Cooper Rush. It will be Snoop Huntley coming in the game for Baltimore with a 14-point deficit with about 13 minutes to go.
But they did just get a stop on fourth down. Go 4th and goal, deciding to go for it were the Rams, and they get a sack of Matthew Stafford. So, yes, they are down 2 scores, but the Rams could have put that game out of reach.
I would just add,
it's just a very slight heartbeat still remaining for the Ravens.
I would just add this, though. The Ravens look like they have rediscovered that Derrick Henry is good at football. 22 carries, 107 yards for him in that one. All right, back to this one, though. The Packers and the Bengals will go head-to-head in just over an hour. About an hour and 3 minutes from now will be kickoff in this one. And the more I think about it, the more I'm super intrigued to see this Bengals offense against this Packers defense. Obviously, we talked about it at length today. Joe Flacco now the quarterback for the Bengals, and they have 2 really good receivers, debatably, maybe not even, the best 1-2 punch at wide receiver in the National Football League with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
Yeah, I'd say it's the best 1-2 punch. I would say Philly is probably 2.
Yep.
When Tampa Bay is healthy, Tampa Bay might have the best 1, 2, 3 when everybody's healthy with the way Emeka Ibuka's been playing. But there are a lot of really good tandems, 1-2 tandems in the NFL. I mean,
Minnesota's got a good group. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, as good as Jordan Addison is, and as good as Jefferson is, I think T and Jamar
are both better, respectively.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. So, best 1-2 punch in the league, then, we've quickly determined here on this program.
I think so. In terms of the best tandem wide receivers, yeah. And the problem for them has been getting them the football when Joe Burrow has been out this year. I just don't think Joe Flacco's the answer to that question of, hey, who could we get? Honestly, and maybe he just wasn't available because if you happen to watch the end of the Giants-Eagles game that was on Thursday Night Football this week, I think it was pretty obvious that Jameis Winston's a really good teammate. I think that's been true of Jameis Winston in a lot of different stops that he's had. And maybe the Giants just went, no, Jameis isn't available. We're not going to give him up. He's too good of a teammate, helping the development of our young quarterback in Jackson Dart. So, but it just feels like if you would have scoured or tried a little bit harder, you tell me you couldn't have gotten Jameis Winston off the Giants' hands instead of Joe Flacco? Mm-hmm. It just seems like you could have maybe come up with a better answer. Than Joe Flacco for the guy you're going to bring in.
Look, I think depending on how this game goes and the next couple weeks go for Cincinnati, they have a Thursday night game coming up. I'm not positive Jake Branning's year is over. They might eventually go back.
You're starting a 40-year-old at quarterback today. He might play today.
That's a good point. Good point. Now
there's a chance. I mean, if this
I guess I wasn't thinking the injury route, but you're right, given the offensive line and Joe Burrow's history.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Joe Burrow gets beat up because this offensive line they haven't been able to figure out that piece in Cincinnati, despite having, again, some pretty big difference makers at quarterback, at wide receiver, one of the best pass rushers in the league with Trey Hendrickson. They haven't figured out some of the other trench pieces, especially on that offensive line, which, again, I don't know if the answer to, man, our offensive line keeps getting our quarterback hurt all the time. What should we do? Mm-hmm. Oh, let's go trade for the 40-year-old statue.
Yeah, he's not known for his mobility, that's for sure.
No, he wasn't known for his mobility when he was young.
Yeah.
You know, I know Aaron Rodgers is in his 40s too, and he's still a little athletic and gets a little bit of yards from time to time. But every time I've watched a Steelers game this year and I see Aaron Rodgers running, it's a little painful. Because it didn't used to look like that.
No, it didn't. No,
it did not used to look like that.
But hey, Steelers might very well be 4-1 after today, led by Aaron Rodgers, which is, you and I are on the same page, right? We like that. We want Aaron Rodgers to do well.
Good for him. I've never had a problem with the Steelers. I've always liked Mike Tomlin. It's a well-run organization. I don't think there's not much to dislike when it comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers organization. And yeah, it was kind of painful seeing Aaron Rodgers just kind of
melt away in New York.
New York. So I'm glad that he's playing a little bit better. I'm glad that team's playing a little bit better.
Likely in his final season in Pittsburgh is Aaron Rodgers. All right, so any level of concern against this Bengals offense?
I mean, the only level of concern that I have is the level of concern you have in any NFL game, right?
Sure.
Because I think we talked about that. Well, we talked about that before the Browns game.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got scolded a little bit by our guy, Brian Balaga, for...
it was a scolding that was clearly worthwhile.
I can't even remember the phrase that you used.
Likely a cakewalk.
A cakewalk, yes.
I didn't call it a cakewalk. I said it was likely a cakewalk.
But he did not even like that phrase being brought up because...
and he was right.
Yeah, and he ended up being 100% right when it came to that. So, I think you can kind of feel the same way here, but at the same time, I could see the way in which that game could be uglied up by that really good Browns defense, and that's what happened, right? They uglied it up and ended up being a pretty good defensive game that they played. I look at this Bengals team and I don't know how they slow down the offense enough for the Packers where they're going to ultimately be able to score enough points with the quarterback who just showed up for his first practice on Wednesday.
Yeah.
The Packers offense, again, despite the game feeling like a loss, they still put up almost 500 yards of offense and 40 points against the Dallas Cowboys. Mm-hmm. And this is kind of a similar defense.
Yeah, minus the Dallas didn't have an elite pass rusher, which Cincinnati obviously hasn't.
Yeah, well, yes. Yep.
Who we learned the Packers actually reached out about at some point this offseason to trade for instead of, they went to Micah Parsons, right, which I think we're all happy with. But, yeah, we will see. I'm fascinated by Joe Flacco and the little time he's had ready to get to get going for this game here in Lambeau, making a Cincinnati Bengals debut. I'm fascinated by those receivers because I do think if we were to power rank, Gabe, the players on the field today that could take over a game.
Yep.
Jamar Chase, Micah Parsons, Trey Hendrickson are the first three that come to mind. I think the Bengals have 2 and the Packers have 1 in the top 3.
Yeah, but the problem with Jamar Chase is in order for him to take over the game, somebody has to get him the football.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Like Trey Hendrickson, Micah Parsons, they can just take over a game doing their own thing. Jamar Chase could be running free, wide open all afternoon in the Packers secondary, and if Joe Flacco can't get him the football, none of it matters.
Yeah, you're right.
Right? So that's the good news, I guess, when it comes to Jamar Chase, because he's going to get open a couple of times. Mm-hmm. It's what he does. That's why he's one of the highest paid wide receivers in NFL history. But I just think the Packers are going to be able to get a pass rush there, and getting rid of the ball quickly, yeah, you're going to be able to do it on occasion, but I don't think you're going to be able to do it almost exclusively and expect to stay in this ball game. And I think the Packers are going to be able to get the pass rush that we saw in the first 3 games that was missing against the Cowboys.
Green and gold fans, it is game day. Kick off your tailgate with Bacardi. Whether it's a Bacardi and Cola, lime and soda, or spiced and cola, Bacardi is your game day go-to. Grab a bottle at your local retailer. Live passionately, drink responsibly. Bacardi USA, Miami, Florida. Rum 40% alcohol by volume. All right, we've got some trivia to hit. We've got 1 calls to make. We've got a bunch of other stuff to hit. Best bets. We've still got a full show ahead of us as we are just under now an hour away from kickoff between the Packers and the Bengals. Gabe,
when do we talk about who's starting game 1 for the Brewers? Or is that not what we do today?
I'm not ruling it out.
Okay,
I'm not ruling it out.
All right, I just wanted to float it out there.
Okay. I don't know if Will Summers, our executive producer on Green Bay Game Day, has been writing down our Brewers interjections, but we've got to be in double digits at this point.
Well, I mean, look, I'm hoping.
By the way.
Yeah, as you should.
And I hope that everybody is focused on the game today when they get inside Lambeau Field, and the energy is as big as it was inside AmFam Field last night and as big as it was for the first 2 home games at Lambeau Field. But none of that means that I've gotten a cure to my Brewers fever. I still have Brewers fever. It's just going to continue to spread over the next 9 days.
Like we've got a guy here right outside our fence at the Tundra Trio.
Yep.
He's wearing a Packers polo and a Brewers hat.
Correct.
Right? And that's your vibe today too. You got a green shirt on and a blue and yellow hat on.
I got Brewers fever.
Everybody's got Brewers fever.
I mean, I can't shake it. I understand this is Green Bay Game Day. I can't shake it for 3 hours.
You do have a 3-hour responsibility beginning at 3:25 to get loud for the Packers and Lambeau.
Correct.
That is a responsibility you have if you're going to the game. However, I'm not saying you need to cure your fever, man.
Okay.
I've got it too.
All right.
I got it too. And the cure is not cowbell.
Quinn Priester?
Yeah, it's Quinn Priester.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's Quinn Priester. We're on the same page. All right. More Green Bay Game Day right after this.
Stay right here. Green Bay Game Day will be right back on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
When it comes to joint replacement, you want the best care available. The Orthopedic Surgery Center in Pewaukee is a leader in joint replacement, offering same-day surgery with advanced technology. Their team of experts specializes in knee, hip, and shoulder replacements, using the latest techniques to minimize pain and recovery time. The team at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin can get you back to what matters, living pain-free. Total joint replacement. There is a difference. Visit orthowisconsin.com.
Hey sports fans, looking to level up your next private event? V Private Bar Services is your game changer. Move beyond the ordinary. V Private Bar Services crafts custom cocktails tailored to your brand and your guests' tastes. Imagine a bar experience that's as unique as your business. Our expert mixologists will create a memorable experience that your clients and team will rave about. From signature cocktails to full-service bars, we've got you covered. Be the MVP of your next event. Visit vprivatebar.com to book today.
Dave Spano from Annex Wealth Management. It didn't seem like it when the season started, but we've watched the crew become a great team. We're just as proud of the team here at Annex. I'll put the Annex team up against anyone when it comes to what we do. Investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning. If that's what you're looking for, let's talk soon. AnnexWealth.com. Click the Get Started button. In the meantime, let's enjoy championship baseball in Milwaukee.
Milwaukee College Prep, redefining what's educationally possible so more children can pursue their dream. Join me, Craig Karmazin, and Milwaukee College Prep Thursday, October 23rd at Venue 3 at the 3rd Street Market Hall, and take a stand in closing the opportunity gap for Milwaukee scholars. Your support means quality education is accessible to over 2,000 scholars in Milwaukee. Enjoy food, drinks, and a chance to learn more. Purchase tickets at 2025 takeastand.givesmart.com. That's 2025 takeastand.givesmart.com.
Best Marquette games ever, brought to you by Saganiac Planning. Most memorable ever, if you consider the most famous postgame photo, February 5th, 1974, 59-58, Marquette over Wisconsin on a last-second 20-foot shot by Maurice Lucas. The still famous photo has a joyous Al McGuire jumping on the scorer's table, and the father of the opposing team's talented twin sons responding with a half a peace sign of the middle finger. And Maurice Lucas saying, Coach Al would have been hiding under that table if I had made that shot. After a year of uncertainty, most employers are reluctant to make changes to their health insurance plans. A level funding medical insurance plan may be the answer you've been looking for. Find out how a level funding plan can cut your costs. For more information, call Eric Pearson at Saganiac Planning, 262-783-6161. Eric Pearson, level funding. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service.
Now's the time to plan your total experience getaway to the Island Resort and Casino. With over 450 hotel rooms and a luxurious spa, relax in style before diving into non-stop casino action. Watch your favorite teams on the big screens and enjoy great food and drinks at T. McSee Sports Bar, or savor top-tier dining at Horizon Steakhouse. Then amp up your night with live music and comedy. Head to where the big game, big wins, and big fun come together. The Island Resort and Casino.
Your neighbors are talking. Did you see their siding? Yikes. That drafty window? It's basically air conditioning. From nature. Don't be the scary house on the block this fall. Call Exterior Pros and Baths and get $3,000 off your roofing, siding, windows, or bath project. No tricks, just treats. That's 262-800-4274 or click your way to extpros.com. Fall in love with your home again. Trust the pros.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Green Bay Game Day is presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, and it is live from the Tundra Trio just outside of Lambeau Field. He is Gabe Neitzel. I'm Alex Strofe. Good to be with you on this Sunday afternoon ahead of Packers-Bengals here at Lambeau Field. A 3:25 kickoff for the 2-1-1 Packers and the 2-3 Cincinnati Bengals. 2-1-1 is so weird to say out loud.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was all. It's going to take some getting used to.
I've got nothing to add. You're just correct. I guess you don't have to worry about any tiebreakers.
That's true. That's true. It's very true.
What are the odds that somebody else is going to get a tie in the division or somewhere else down the line?
It's non-zero. Yes?
Yeah, non-zero, but not very likely.
Also accurate, yeah. This is a very sophisticated conversation we're having.
Yes, very
here.
deep, very in-depth. That's exactly what we're doing here.
How about we do this? I'm gonna tell you ways I think you can win some money today.
I like
Sound
it.
Good?
Let's do it.
It's time now for our best bets, which is presented by Island Resort and Casino. The Island Resort and Casino is a premier resort destination, the largest north of Milwaukee, with everything you like to do in one awesome location. Visit islandresortandcasino.com, islandresortandcasino.com to book your total experience today.
Today would have been a really good time to be up there, play golf, watch the games afterwards. Oh, the golf courses they have up there are fantastic. Cannot recommend them enough if you are a golf fan.
Mm-hmm. I have not been there. I've not been there, but I look forward to it someday when I get really good at golf, which might happen eventually. I like
take up chess.
That was rude. Good pop. I like taking swings on games like this.
Okay.
It just feels like a weird one, so I like the idea of taking a swing.
So you don't want to go like Josh Jacobs anytime touchdown? Because that's not a big swing.
No, it's minus 265.
Yeah,
actually.
I was about to say that's.
You have to bet 265
you're not
to make
getting,
100.
Yeah, you're not getting good value out of that bet.
No, you are not. But a touchdown that you would make some value on It's a guy by the name of Dontavian Wicks, plus 255. I think we see Wicks get in the end zone today.
You've been riding that train.
Either him or Golden. I mean, Golden still needs his first, but that's only plus 185 today against the Bengals because, look, Vegas clearly thinks the Packers are going to score a lot of points today. They're going to get in the end zone quite a bit. So that is the vision right now. So I like Dontavian Wicks plus 255 anytime touchdown score. That is one of my best bets.
What's you got any odds on Tucker Kraft?
Yes, give me one moment.
Because I feel like this could be another Tucker Kraft game. Whether it ends up being
plus 180.
Yeah, I like those odds. I think I'd go Tucker Kraft here, just because I think there could be an opportunity where you get, the whatever the Packers version of the tush push is, where he takes that quarterback sneak and goes. I think you got a chance maybe there if they find themselves in a goal-to-go situation, or he continues to build on what he did last time he played inside Lambeau Field.
Also, Emmanuel Wilson. It's my other best bet today. Over 19.5 rushing yards is all his line is.
Really?
So over 19.5 rushing yards for Emmanuel Wilson is my other best bet. Presented by the Island Resort and Casino.
Especially if the Packers get up big in the second half. That's what they're going to be running.
A lot. Exactly.
That's what they're going to be running. They're not going to be running Josh Jacobs.
And they're not going to be passing a whole heck of a lot, right?
Exactly.
So that seems like a gimme right there for Emmanuel Wilson. But again, as we've learned, there is no such thing as gimmies in the NFL.
But I do like where your thought process is on that. I do like that. It's kind of a sneaky one that you're not necessarily thinking about. But the over, I mean, he's had to be close to be over that every game, has he not? I mean, because he's still been 20 yards. He's got to be averaging over 20 yards per game.
You would think so. I mean, obviously with Marshawn Lloyd not playing right now.
Yeah, it's not like they're turning around and giving Chris Brooks a ton of carries.
Chris Brooks did have a big game against Washington on that Thursday night, but that might have been more receiving than it was rushing. It just seems like a gimme in terms of I know they like Emmanuel Wilson. They like what he's been able to do for them the last couple of years, and that could be.
So Emmanuel Wilson this year, I guess it's just been the last 2 weeks because he had 1 carry for 4 yards in the opener, 0 for 0 against Washington, but 6 for 25 against Cleveland, 8 for 44 against Dallas. So it's really something that he's been coming on as of late.
I love it. All right. We've got to hit some trivia. We've got to hit our one call, and we've got to give our final thoughts on this one. Packers-Bengals coming up in about 45 minutes right here at Lambeau Field. He's Gabe Knights. I'm Alex Strouf with you. Green Bay Game Day is presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, and it continues right after this.
We're back with Green Bay Game Day after this on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Hungry for something fresh and delicious? Get your favorites from Cousin Subs delivered straight to your door. From our freshly baked bread and hand-sliced meats and cheeses to our famous sides, crispy golden fries, Wisconsin cheese curds, or creamy mac and cheese. Every meal made to order and ready to enjoy. Ordering is quick and easy online or through the Cousins app. Whether it's a solo lunch, family dinner, or a spread for the whole crew, let us bring it straight to you, fast and fresh. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
At Boucher, we don't just sell cars, we build careers.
For over 45 years, Boucher has been Wisconsin's trusted name in automotive excellence, and today we're growing faster than ever.
Whether you're an experienced professional or just starting out, Boucher is hiring across all departments: sales, service, finance, and more.
Enjoy industry-leading pay, unbeatable benefits, paid training, and a workplace that truly values you. Join the Boucher family, where we ride with you every mile, and your future rides with us. Apply today at Boucher.com.
At Great Midwest Bank, we've been serving Southeast Wisconsin homeowners for 90 years. Wait, 2025 minus 1935, 90 years. Wow. In our 90 years as a community bank, we've learned a lot about the values of the people who live and work here and appreciate the loyal customers that have made Great Midwest Bank who we are today. Find a location at greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local, equal housing lender and member FDIC.
Neck and back surgeries can be risky. Your spine deserves the best. That's why professional athletes choose Neurospine Center of Wisconsin. We can help you too. With the top nationally rated spine surgeons in the state for quality outcomes, you can trust the professionals at Neurospine Center of Wisconsin. Get a second opinion in just a few clicks. Now offered virtually throughout Wisconsin. Visit nscwi.com. Whether you want to get back into the game or just get back to life, go where the pros go. Neurospine Center of Wisconsin. Your spine health is our passion.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror?
they'll take care of it. Dented bumper, scratch paint, Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco, Fisco, Fisco.
To help those who want to be helped but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
I've been to my fair share of green and gold games, and the best way to get there is with Accutrans Group. At Good Karma Brands and ESPN Milwaukee, we use Accutrans Group to get our partners to and from Green Bay, and it's always first class. From stadiums to concerts and tailgates, your game day fun starts the moment you step on board. Sit back, relax, and let their professional chauffeurs handle the traffic while you enjoy the ride. Accutrans Group is Milwaukee's premier ground transportation, available 24/7 with sedans, SUVs, limos, vans, and buses. Book today at AccuTransGroup.com.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Lazaga for Comfort Awnings. I reclaim my outdoor space by having Comfort Awnings install a motorized retractable awning so I can enjoy the sun and get relief when I need it. Sensors are also available that detect strong winds and rain to extend or retract your awning. They even protect against UV radiation so you can safely enjoy the outdoors. Family owned and located in Burlington, Comfort Awnings expertly installs custom awnings that fit your home and style. Right now, you can receive a free motor for your automated awning with your order. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit ComfortAwnings.com.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
But you know what it is. I'm a cheesehead, y'all cheese whiz. Pittsburgh Steelers, that's not.
Green Bay Game Day presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Alex Strofe, Gabe Knights with you from the Tundra Trio, just outside of Lambeau Field. 40 minutes to kick off. It's Packers-Bengals, Week 6 NFL matchup. 1-1, 2-3.
I know it's warm-ups, and there's no rush when they're doing the kicking warm-ups.
Uh-oh. I don't like whatever's coming next.
Lucas Haversick.
Leg?
Just hit one from 63 that's good from 70-plus. It hits halfway up the net.
All right, dare I say it then? Dare I say it? Is there a kicking controversy in Green Bay?
Well, see, now you're going to regret that you said that because Josh DiMaggio already tweeted that, and he's probably going to rub it in your face that he beat you to it on Mr. Irrelevant tomorrow. But the video that I'm looking at from Nat Schneidman that Josh retweeted, I mean, this thing is a 63-yard field goal. That is just –
That's a –
I mean, it's not like it's crawling over the bar. It is good by a long stretch.
Here's the issue. It get blocked in the game. I was just talking in the commercial break with a buddy of mine about Bisaccia and special team struggles. And it's just impossible to wrap your head around why the Packers are always just about incompetent in the special teams.
And I think this goes back to, and I feel like I'm stealing this point from Jason, but because he has talked about it a lot, and he wrote the story over at channel3000.com, talked about it on all the different shows on Willie and Tausch about how the Packers emphasize turnovers to the nth degree, like over the top, installing a siren and whistles and bells and lights in your meeting room for when you get turnovers. So they go to the next degree when emphasizing that. I don't think they emphasize special teams.
I don't either.
I mean, they emphasized special teams in that they went out and they spent money on their special teams.
Now you've got me rattled.
But other than that, like, I don't think this coaching staff, I don't know if there's taking the extra time and care. And again, this could just be like organizational philosophy, because it's not even just a Rich Bisaccia thing.
Yep. No.
It's not even just a Matt LaFleur thing.
No.
This has been, all the way back to the mid-2010s, right?
2012 was the last time they were in the top half of the league.
Yeah. So I just don't think
that's
it's a thing.
13 years ago.
And I know there have been times when they have specifically had guys that Rich Bisaccia has stumped for on the roster. I'm blanking on the guy's name. I think he wore 6 and then got that personal foul penalty and got cut the next week.
Why
am I blanking on his name? I can't.
I am too.
But you know exactly who I'm talking about.
I do.
I'm Hopefully somebody either texts it in or it's going to come to me in like 20 minutes. I'm just going to yell his name after we have moved off this topic. But there have been times where it seems like they have, but like at the same time, I don't know how much special teams is a priority for this team. I don't know if it's something that they emphasize. Because to Jason's point, in the NFL, you get what you emphasize.
I was just about to bring that up.
And I don't think that this is what they're emphasizing. I think they're just okay if the special teams are average. As long as they have a kicker that they feel that they can rely upon and they have a snapper and a holder and that part is smooth, I feel like they just think, the rest of it will take care of itself.
Yeah.
It's the way it feels from the outside looking in.
Yeah. Absolutely right. And while you were running through all that, you brought up you get what you emphasize. Maybe you haven't been emphasizing the special teams, hasn't been very good. You've been emphasizing takeaways. You only got 2 of them through 4 games, including 0 fumbles, which is problematic for a defense that we heard all through training camp only about, they forced another fumble. They forced another fumble. They forced another. Haven't seen it. Haven't seen the punch-outs. Haven't seen the effort.
I guess I'm not as concerned about the turnovers. I know it's something that they emphasize, and because of that, I feel like it's going to come. But turnovers can just be so fickle in the NFL.
See what you did there.
It's tough to repeat what you did a year ago. That's one of those things that just does not translate year to year. And honestly, kind of is what makes me feel really good about the way the defense played through 3 weeks. Because it's not like they were doing it with turnovers. They were a dominant defense without forcing those turnovers, because one of the turnovers they got in those 3 games was basically a Hail Mary / punt at the end of the half from Joe Flacco against the Browns. So it's really kind of one turnover in actual gameplay, I guess, for lack of a better term. So, and they were still able to be and feel like a dominant unit. I feel those turnovers are going to come, maybe not at the level that they did a year ago, but they are going to come because you have plenty of guys, especially in that secondary, that have good ball skills to go get the ball when it's up in the air for interceptions.
Gabe Neitzel, Alex Strupp with you on Green Bay Game Day. Time now for our trivia question. Trivia brought to you by Lakeland University, Wisconsin's leader in flexible, personalized education. Whether you're just starting college, finishing your degree, or balancing work and family, Lakeland lets you earn your degree your way. Lakeland University, experience it your way. All right, Gabe.
Okay.
I've got 3 Packers in mind that since 2010 have played for both the Packers and the Bengals in the front 7 of the defense. 3 Packers since 2010 who have played for both the Packers and the Bengals in the front 7. And I will tell you this, I have seen 2 Bengals jerseys, or 2 of those guys, I have seen Bengals versions of their jerseys today.
Okay. So I'm pretty sure Mike Daniels is on that
That
list.
is correct. Yep, Mike Daniels is right.
Okay, so front 7 guys.
One is much more recent, one is further back.
Much more recent and one is further back.
The one that's most recent is the hardest one on the list.
I think Mike Daniels might be the only one I'm going to get here.
Okay, here's a hint. The one further back was a first-round pick of the Green Bay Packers.
Wait, is that where Nick Perry went?
No, not Nick Perry. He was a first-round pick in the 2000s.
Okay.
And he won the Super Bowl with Green Bay.
In the Super Bowl with Green Bay in the fronts for the front 7. First round. Oh, yeah, A.J. Hawk.
People forget he played for the Bengals.
God, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
Because it was only for a year.
So this is what inspired the trivia question. I was walking through Lambeau's parking lot earlier today doing some content, and I saw a Bengals A.J. Hawk jersey, and I literally said out loud, people forget A.J. Hawk played for the Bengals.
I completely forgot about that.
The other one I don't think you're going to get it is Orenburks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So there you go. Those are the 3 I had in mind. That's your trivia question based on my mind. I'm not sure if that's how trivia typically works, but it's how it worked today.
That's how it worked out today. Again, there have just been so many weird things that have happened between these 2 teams every time they play. I feel like that's been covered enough. So it's not like you could lean into any of that weird stuff, because I feel like it's been talked about a lot throughout the course of the week.
All right, it's time now for our Gruber Law Office's one call. One thing we think will come true in this game, which is, of course, presented by Gruber Law Offices. Gruber Law Offices has a reputation for winning. Their experienced and powerful team works tirelessly to help people and families seriously injured in accidents by providing the best care and service. There is never a fee until your case is won. Gruber Law Offices has been serving the people and state of Wisconsin for over 35 years. Gruber Law Offices, one call. That's all. I could go 800 directions with this one today, so I'm going to let you go first while I try to parse through which one I want to land on.
Packers have 2 or more turnovers today. The defense has 2 or more, forces 2 or more turnovers today.
You have confidence in Joe Flacco turning the ball over.
I do, and again, whether that's a strip sack, whether that's him throwing an interception, whether that's the gang tackling that we did see in the first 3 games, finally resulting in somebody punching a football loose. I think that we've been talking about it a lot, and it's going to come into fruition that we are going to see this defense start to force some turnovers.
I hope you're right. I need to see it before I predict it.
Okay.
That's kind of where I'm at with the turnovers right now. You don't view it as a big bugaboo, and obviously they're 2-1-1. It's not like they're getting their butts kicked. But it's something that I think would affect games. And when you think of, sure, Jordan Love only has 2 turnovers, but there's been some massive blocked kicks that have allowed teams to reopen the door and stay in games against the Packers, primarily against Cleveland and Dallas each of the last 2 games. So those are also turnovers. And that's why if you're not returning the favor, right? If you turn the ball over and you're not getting one back, that's where it becomes problematic for me, and that's ultimately why I think you're in the spot you're in right now entering this one at 2-1-1 is you haven't returned the favor. And that's something that I need to see and would be great to see against a iffy Bengals team today at 2-1-1. All right, my one call, I'm going to go on the offensive side of the football. I think we see.
I feel like that's what we've been doing. I've been talking a lot about the defense. You want to talk a lot about the offense. Head of that little yin and yang thing going.
Yeah,
today.
it's what makes us work, Gabriel. I think we see 4 different offensive players score touchdowns today. I guess I'll try to call my shot. I don't know if I'll be right.
Okay.
But I think Josh Jacobs.
extra credit for saying at least 4 and then trying to name the 4.
All right, I will name the 4.
We talked about it yesterday in terms of doing fool's errands.
Yes.
You love doing them.
I do.
So I'm here for it.
I am a fool and I like to run errands. Josh Jacobs.
Yep.
Tucker Kraft.
Okay.
Dontavian Wicks.
Yep.
Romeo Doubs. I don't think Matthew Golden gets his first today.
I'm glad you said Dontavian, because if you didn't,
your best bet would have hurt. Would have hurt everybody's pocketbooks.
Yeah.
So those are my 4. You know what? Let's take it a step further in that order. Josh Jacobs.
Jeez.
Tucker Kraft. Dontavian Wicks. Romeo Doubs.
I just love the way you just kept building upon it. Like, 4 different players.
It might be a fool's errand.
Now I'm going to name all 4 players.
I'll make it an even bigger fool's
errand. And actually,
errand.
let's make it all that 4 in that order.
In that order. Can I change the order, or is it too late?
I mean, do whatever you want. I mean, at this point,
Wicks,
this is 6 calls, that's all, at this point.
Wicks, Kraft, Dobbs, Jacobs. That's my order.
Just know, if you call Gerber Loftus, it is going to be easier than Alex's prediction that he just made.
Yeah, Gerber Loftus has 1 call. That's all. That was our 1 call. And we've got just about 1 call left to make. We will give our final thoughts. We will give our final analysis. We will give a final look at Packers-Bengals coming up in just a half an hour at Lambeau Field. Our final segment of the show, our final thoughts on this game are coming up next. It's Green Bay Game Day presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
We're back with Green Bay Game Day after this on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
For your fellow fanatics and your #1 fans. For your game day compatriots and your everyday companions. For your personal cheerleaders and your personal heroes. For the reasons you smile, get covered with dental and vision insurance from Delta Dental of Wisconsin and Delta Vision. Learn more at deltadentalwi.com today.
Homer here with a message about 3 Pillar Senior Living Communities located on a serene setting along the Bark River on 300 gorgeous acres. 3 Pillar Senior Living Communities is a top-ranked full continuum community. Active adult, independent living, assisted living, memory care, skilled nursing, and rehab. 3 Pillars, the hands-down choice for you or your loved one. Been there. Know people who live there. They love it. You got to go to Dousman and see it in person. Get all the info on 3 Pillars at 3pillars.org.
Pitch by pitch, inning by inning, game by game. Watching the Crew is a 162-game journey of grit, hard work, talent, and determination. Dave Spanel from Annex Wealth Management, we're with you on your journey as well. Your hard work and money deserve a partner like Annex for your investment, retirement, tax, estate planning as a fee-only fiduciary. Take the next step towards retirement you desire and begin the conversation soon. Head to annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button.
Hey, it's ESPN Wisconsin's Alex Strofe. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. Don't miss a second of the excitement this football season. Prize Picks makes it fun to test your takes. Prize Picks is the best way to turn your knowledge right into cash. Which players are going off, which are overhyped. Make your picks in under 60 seconds and see your lineups in action this weekend. I've been playing every week. It's simple and exciting. I recently made lineups with Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, and Josh Allen, and watching those projections hit is a blast. Just pick more or less on at least 2 stats and hit submit. Prize Picks even gives you options. Flex Play pays even if 1 pick misses, or Power Play for the biggest payout. Stack a player multiple times, follow friends or celebrities, and check every lineup in the feed tab. Fast, secure deposits and withdrawals make it easy, too. Download the Prize Picks app today and use my code GKB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code GKB to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Yeah, it is.
Green and gold fans, it's game day. And you know what that means. Tailgating with friends and raising a glass to our favorite team. This season, make Bacardi the star of your pregame party. Whether you're mixing up a classic Bacardi and cola, refreshing Bacardi lime and soda, or a smooth spiced and cola, Bacardi is the perfect pick for game day fun. Grab a bottle and get ready to cheer on Green Bay with the best in hand. Available now at your local retailer. Live passionately, drink responsibly. Bacardi USA, Miami, Florida. Rum 40% alcohol by volume.
Goldsmiths are essential to running a jewelry store, but they're extremely hard to find.
Goldsmiths can repair jewelry, set diamonds, resize rings, and create beautiful, one-of-a-kind pieces of custom jewelry.
Most jewelry stores do not have an in-house goldsmith.
But Kessler's has 18 wonderful goldsmiths working in our 9 Kessler stores.
The average Kessler's goldsmith has more than 15 years of full-time experience.
And that's not counting all the apprentice goldsmiths and jewelry designers.
Our goldsmiths repair a lot of jewelry that we did not sell.
Bring us your broken jewelry and we'll bring it back to life.
When you see a woman with an extremely attractive, very distinctive engagement ring,
you can safely assume that it's a custom-designed, one-of-a-kind ring made by the goldsmiths at Kessler's.
When your relationship is special, you need a special engagement ring.
If you want something that's breathtakingly one-of-a-kind,
come to Kessler's.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. Tune into the Rich Eisen Show weekdays from 12 to 2, right here on 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Wrapping up Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Alex Strofe, Gabe Neitzel with you.
We missed the fireworks. Usually the fireworks an hour before kickoff scare the crap out of you. And we're not even in the comfort of the Pella Windows and Doors mobile studio.
Yeah.
So being out in the elements, you'd have thought we'd have heard those fireworks a little more
Did they
pronounced.
not do them today?
I don't know. But an hour before kickoff, usually they have the fireworks, and it scares the crap out of you.
Yeah, it spooks me every time. Well, we're going to get fireworks usually, 15 minutes? There's going to be another one soon, so it's scary anyway. Granted, they do a couple rounds of fireworks. They may have just missed the hour before one. All right, a little bit of cleanup we need to do.
Okay.
The guy you were thinking of.
Dallin Levitt.
That's his name.
Yeah, that was his name. Special teamer that was only on the team for special teams that Rich Bisaccia wanted and then got a 15-yard penalty and got cut.
Yep, that's him. Dallin Levitt. We were talking at length about special teams, which why wouldn't we? Because they've been bad. PD Pablo texted this in, and I just wanted to get your reaction to this text.
Okay.
The Packers should go grab Peanut Tillman to coach special teams. He's free. It appears he no longer works for the FBI. What? I don't know how you would know that because the FBI is top secret.
Yeah, but he was like training. I mean, it was pretty well reported that he was like in training to become an FBI agent.
So is he just not doing that anymore?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's devastating.
Would you be pro or anti Peanut Tillman?
I don't care.
Okay, fair enough.
I guess because I've also, for the people that are in the Fire Bisaccia crowd, I'm resigned that he's not getting fired.
Yeah.
Like Matt LaFleur is maybe he does at the end of the season. Yeah, maybe he does it at the end of the season, but he's not going to fire Bisaccia, who is not just the special teams coach, but also the associate head coach, and obviously works very close with Matt LaFleur, which, again, you can discuss some game management things that could potentially also fall on his plate that have not gone well. But he's not going to fire him in the middle of the season. This is the guy we got. We just got to hope that the Packers start emphasizing special teams a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. All right, it's Packers-Bengals. The Packers are 14.5-point favorites, 13.5-point favorites, depending on where you look. Do you get the 2-touchdown cover or not? But this game is all about, to me, proving who you really are. You're into the month of October. You haven't won a football game in a month. You haven't played in 2 weeks. There's been some inconsistencies and some concerning things pop up, but not too concerning. You still think there's a good team. Today is a game against an inferior opponent where I think you can really show what you're made of, both offensively and defensively, against a decent offensive test for Cincinnati. I just want to see who this team is. That's what I want to learn today. And look, one game isn't going to tell you everything. One game isn't going to teach you everything. But it will be a good enough it's a good enough test where, if they walk out of here with a 15-point win, you go, all right, that's what we needed to see. And that's my hope for this game today.
I don't think there's anything they can do in this game that makes you feel the way you felt about this team after the first 2 games. Because they happened so close together. You had still the euphoria of the Micah Parsons edition. But you can start to lay the groundwork to start to feel like you did after those 2 games today. And it starts with having the game that you just described and then building upon that when you go take on, honestly, what's been a feisty Cardinals team today against the Indianapolis Colts. It looks like the Colts are going to be able to ice away the rest of the time and win that game 31-27. But you start building this week, and then it goes to next week. And then you have that game against the Steelers where if you put together 3 wins in a row before welcoming the Carolina Panthers to Lambeau Field for your next home game, we can start to talk about, this red-hot Packers team were able to right the ship after a couple of wonky weeks before the bye. But here they are looking like they did in weeks 1 and 2 and one of the best teams in the NFC. Mm-hmm. Because right now, best team in the NFC is still up for grabs. That title, up for grabs after the Eagles lost to the Giants on Thursday night.
Yeah, I would say the Detroit Lions certainly have an interesting case, but now they need to win tonight.
Yep. They have to beat they have to beat the Chiefs. The
That's
Buccaneers,
a really fun Sunday night game, by the way.
The Buccaneers, who have been pretty good but haven't had really that convincing win. They've played a lot of really tight games.
Yep.
Which is not, again, if you're truly a dominant team, you win those tight games. That's certainly something you do, but not every game can be a tight game. You have to step up and be dominant against a beat-up 49ers team at home this afternoon. The Buccaneers have that opportunity. But if they stub their toe against San Fran, again, that title for, hey, who's the best in the NFC is up for grabs.
Yeah, and I don't know that the Dallas Cowboys were in the running for that, but they just lost to the Carolina Panthers, so they are now 2-3-1, a tie to the Packers a couple of weeks ago, and now the loss to the Panthers, who are up to 3-3 on the season, 3-0, perfect 3-0 at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, are the Panthers, led by Bryce Young, the former number 1 overall pick. 30-27, the final there. Carolina tops Dallas. The Los Angeles Rams have beaten the Baltimore Ravens. Same scores the last time I gave you an update. 17-3, the final there. The Patriots have beaten the Saints 25-19. Your final from Miami. The Dolphins now 1-5. The Chargers now 4-2. Sneaky Jim Harbaugh. The Colts 5-1. The best record in the AFC belongs to the Indianapolis Colts, just like we all expected. 31-27 over the Arizona Cardinals today. That one just goes final as the Packers' opponent next week falls to 2-4. Led today by Jacoby Brissett, who actually, all things considered, had a pretty good game.
Had a pretty good game.
320 yards and 2 touchdowns for him. 2 games still going. Or rather, 1 game still going from the noon slate. It's the Steelers over the Browns, 23-9, under 4 minutes to play there. And Titans-Raiders has just kicked off in Las Vegas. A couple other afternoon games, obviously Packers and Bengals are one of them. And what Gabe just mentioned, 49ers-Buccaneers, also a 3:25 kickoff today. Both of those teams 4-1 in the NFC. And Sunday Night Football tonight is Lions-Chiefs in Kansas City. The Lions 4-1, the Chiefs 2-3. And we get a Monday night doubleheader tomorrow, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Bills at Falcons, and then Commanders and Bears in Landover, Maryland.
Bills game is interesting to see if they can bounce back after having their first loss and they have to be on the road. And again, we'll see what the Commanders are against that Chicago Bears team.
All right, some final thoughts and predictions ahead of Packers-Bengals kickoff in less than 20 minutes from now. Gabe Neitzel, we've kind of covered it. You just want them to be the team we think they are.
Yeah, the team that they were in the first 2 weeks. Micah Parsons kicked this roster to me, a Super Bowl championship roster. I think the coaching staff is good enough. I know over the last 2 weeks there have been a lot of fans that have texted in on the Carblos Talking text line that have called us on all the shows across ESPN Milwaukee and ESPN Madison of, yeah, maybe Matt LaFleur's not the guy. Maybe he's not good enough. You know, Rich Bisaccia needs to be fired. I think the coaching staff is good enough. I think they've shown that they've good enough. Have they had a couple of rough weeks? Absolutely they have. Mm-hmm. But I think coming out of the bye, which traditionally hasn't been the best under Matt LaFleur, 3-3 in the previous 6 seasons that they've been coming off of the bye. A couple of those losses were some hefty losses for the Green Bay Packers. But I think that this coaching staff is ready to lock back in. I think the roster is ready to lock back in after, again, some less than ideal weeks that they had in weeks 3 and 4. It is a championship caliber team, and they start showing that they can be that type of team once again. But it starts today. It starts with a dominant victory over a team that has a 40-year-old quarterback who just arrived on Wednesday.
Jordan Love is 1-1 after the bye week and a very nearly 0-2. At Denver 2 years ago, they lost 19-17. Last year, they got the Bears after the bye week. Thank you, Carl Brooks' middle finger, as the Packers won that game by 1 point, 20-19, on their Week 10 bye last year. This year it's a Week 5 bye, and here they are in Week 6. Mostly healed up, according to the injury report, except for their kicker, Brandon McManus, and their nose tackle, Devontae Wyatt, who are both out of this game, and their backup right tackle, Anthony Belton. But other than that...
Well, I mean, the Belton injury could be a big injury because... Yeah, they haven't been able to get through a game healthy with their preferred 5. And Belton is one of those guys that you're expecting. I mean, he's offensive lineman number 7 in terms of the depth chart. And you suffer another couple of injuries the way you have in some of these. And it is going to get really interesting really fast, especially with Trey Hendrickson on that other side for the Bengals. So that Belton injury, while, again, right now it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, the way that this offensive line just hasn't been able to finish games, it could be a big deal by the end of the day.
Sure could be, but let's hope not.
Yeah, I'm hoping not. I want this offensive line because I think this offensive line...
I would like to see them get a complete game together. That'd be nice.
But this offensive line has, again, it's kind of like we were just talking about with the entire roster. This offensive line, I think, has the potential to be a top 5 offensive line in football. I do think that Zach Tom is one of the best right tackles in football. I think that Elton Jenkins, no matter what position he's at, yeah, maybe it's taken him longer to get used to the center position because he wasn't here throughout OTAs as they're trying to figure out the contract situation, and maybe he didn't get enough reps the way the coaching staff wanted him at center, and there have been some issues, certainly. But he's really good. He is a really good football player. Sheed, despite the 17-0 prediction, is a really good left tackle.
Yeah, he is.
And I think they've got the potential to be a top 5 offensive line in the league. And if they stay healthy and if they can remain healthy together and start building that cohesion amongst each other. We hear Tausch talk about that all the time. I know Blues talked about it on the Homer Hour when he's on with there about just what an advantage it is if you have an offensive line that stays healthy and stays together because they know what each other is going to do. And that just builds confidence for your quarterback, builds confidence for your running back. And I think this offensive line has that potential. We just haven't seen them stay healthy and be able to do that. So I'm hoping they finally stay healthy and everybody's able to finish the game because this offensive line needs to start looking like that so this offense can reach that full potential.
Love it. I think you nailed everything you said there. I'm intrigued to see how the defense responds after a rather negative game in Dallas. I'm intrigued to see what the rushing attack looks like offensively. Are you able to get Josh Jacobs going with this offensive line back to, what would we call it, your preferred 5?
Yeah, preferred 5.
I don't know if I want to call it the ideal 5.
It's the Packers' preferred 5.
Yes.
They've made it clear
they might change their mind on that, though.
Yeah, and you do throughout the course of the season. Right. But right now, these are your 5 preferred offensive linemen from left to right, being Rasheed Walker, Aaron Banks, Elton Jenkins, Sean Ryan, and Zach Tom.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, we'll see. But, get Jacobs going. Get Emmanuel Wilson going. Allow the run to open up the pass a little bit. like you did so much last year. And maybe it's flipped this year. Maybe we just haven't been able to find the magic recipe. The pass needs to open up the run. But Jacobs is such a workhorse, you just want to see him get going a little bit. But I think Jordan Love can have a field day as long as this offensive line gives him time to drop back and make his reads and ultimately execute against this Cincinnati defense. So we will see. We will see as it's Packers-Bengals, a 3:25 kickoff. All right, Gabe, what's your score prediction?
I think the Packers end up dominating this game. I think they end up covering 13.5. I'm going to say maybe offensively it takes them a little bit of time to kind of get back into rhythm coming out of the bye, but ultimately they're going to be just fine. I think they win this game 28-14.
Okay, I have a very similar score. I have 27-17. However, that's a missed extra point, not a field goal.
Okay.
I think they score 4 touchdowns.
Okay.
I think
so. You think is it Haversick's fault or does it get blocked?
I think it gets blocked.
Okay.
I think we see it again, and then that outrage is only going to be louder tomorrow and tonight after the game. But ultimately, I think the Packers get out of here with a win. And you walk away impressed about both sides of the football. You feel better about both sides of the football. That could very likely be a backdoor cover like it was last week for Cincinnati against Detroit, where they kind of start rolling late and they add on a touchdown to make it a little bit closer than the game actually was. The Packers are the better team in this game. They should show why they're the better team in this game, and ultimately I think they do show why they're the better team in this game as Jordan Love and the offense gets rolling. Micah Parsons, Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness and company get after the quarterback a little bit, and they allow the Packers to win this one. 27-17 my score prediction for this one, which means the Packers do not cover.
Yeah, that's a big number to cover. I think they got that opportunity at home. I'm just hoping Lambeau is ready to be rocking and ready to go, because as much as at times it feels like there's a civil war nature between the green and the gold package in terms of the ticket. Yeah. We had one of those. We had one of each, and both were ready to go for weeks 1 and 2. I hope that we get back to Lambeau Field being a true home field advantage, and it starts by having a rabid fan base inside the crowd, inside the stadium, and that crowd just has to be like it was in weeks 1 and 2 to try to help get this team, kick them to that next gear, get them to that next level.
Remember the whole Get Loud Lambeau push a couple years ago?
Jeez, they've done so many things, man.
Get loud, Lambeau!
Whether it was like that ship horn that was really close to the Viking horn. You remember that from 2019? I want to say that was that was just a preseason only thing that didn't get.
Yeah, that got shut down real quick.
Got shut down real quick, and everyone's like, kind of sounds like the Viking horn. Yep. Never mind. We never did that. Remember the G-Force of the 2010s?
Of course.
The G-Force. Again, hopefully
they had a catchy song for the G-Force.
They did. Yeah, they used to play it. But hopefully this crowd just continues to be as passionate as they were about the Packers through weeks 1 and 2. And if they are, it's going to be a true home field advantage. And maybe we can get to a point where we're looking at this as a place that nobody wants to come and play this team, especially with Micah Parsons on the defense.
Well, 3-0 start at home would certainly lead you in that direction. A big thanks to everybody who joined us today. Jason Wilde, Steve Scaffiti, Rob Demovsky. A big thanks to our producers across the board. I only know Will Summers, so apologies to the other ones who are working hard with us on a Sunday. Bad by me. That's bad on me.
You could have just not mentioned anybody's name, and then you would have pointed out.
Yeah, but I was already down the hole. Will, do you know who's producing on other stations?
Owen Dimful in Madison.
Very good. Owen Dimful. Shout out to you, Owen. Thank you for hanging with us on a Sunday afternoon. And a big thanks to Gabe Neitzel for dealing with me on a tired Sunday.
On a Brewers hangover Sunday.
Yes. Brewers fever is real. Brewers fever is real. But so is Packers fever. Here they go against the Cincinnati Bengals in Week 6. Homer, Mark Tauscher, Gary Ellerson, Jason Wilde have you immediately following the final whistle right here on these stations and on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee, at ESPN Madison for Green Bay game night, which begins right after the final whistle. Win or lose, reaction will be had, and I'm sure we'll overreact to something. That will be the case. Go Pack, go enjoy the game. Those guys will be talking to you tomorrow. We'll talk to you tomorrow during our normal lineup on a Brewers and Packers, hopefully, victory Monday. That's tomorrow. This has been Green Bay Game Day.
Oh no, there's only seltzer left, and it's passionberry almond fruit? Who comes up with these?